jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Check, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he off of the leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
I think you're muted.
My bad. They know what they here for. I'll run it back. They know what I'm so geeked. I don't even know. I ain't pushing the right buttons or nothing. All right. They know what they here for. It's me, your boy Scotty, watching Off Script, and you're here at the round table with my co-host, the boy Wonder. Blue Bloods getting your analytics.
Man, I appreciate you having me again, my guy.
You already know what it is, man. Ain't no having you. You're a co-host, bro. Shut up. You're a co-host. You already know what it is. There is no round table without you. All right, so that's what we're doing. Listen, we here, man. Round table week playoff edition. You feel it? You feel, man. Listen, playoff football's in the air. Playoff football's in the air. Listen, Blue. We probably talk more offline this week than Yo, we've been talking offline so much for this game. It is so crazy, man. But listen, we're here. Listen, announcement. Call lines will listen. We taking all callers. All right. My girl is out with her family for Thanksgiving. My dude, Blue, his girl's out with her family. We are single men tonight on this channel. Tonight and tonight only, we are single men talking strictly football. All right, so call lines will be open, man. Listen, if you got a question, any type of question, redundant, stupid, whatever, we're taking them. All right. Now, before we get into it, quick recap on thoughts of Week 12, Blue. Give me a game.
Man, that's so tough. I would say so. I'll go double with you, man.
Okay.
First, Prairie View handled A&M game completely wrong. The one player you couldn't get hurt got hurt. Like how do you get your starting quarterback hurt the week before? Like you have to, 2 weeks before you got to go play for a SWAC title. Just atrocious management of that game. And the other one was Alabama State still finding a way to compete and still finding a way to, shut down one of the best offenses in the SWAC. They held them under 30 points, and Alabama A&M, regardless of their coach being fired, regardless of everyone doubting them, still found a way to win. And so I was actually very impressed with Alabama State this weekend. Merritt is a problem. Ezra Gray might not have shown up this year, but Merritt absolutely showed up this year. And I thought this weekend was a big game, and Irshad Davis continues to just be so impressive, man, at that safety spot. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does.
Man, listen, when him and I'm about to say Blue, Lord have mercy. When him and Bubba was playing together, I used to call them Ebony and Ivory, because them boys bad. Those some bad boys together, all right? So listen, you know where I'm starting with this. Alcorn, Jackson State. I mean, epic game, epic environment, man. I'm telling you, if you can't make it out there, you need to go out there and check a Capital City Classic, Soul Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Coaching in the SWAC is really making me mad. Coaching in the SWAC, that's my only recap. Coaching in the SWAC is making me very, very upset. I see that the talent gap that people thought Jackson State had is not heavy as I thought it would, that I thought it would look like to be. In the beginning of the season, I'm like, okay, cool. Everything is everything. They got they got the number one FCS class, but these teams like a Southern, Alcorn, when you're a rivalry, that stuff goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? That stuff just clearly goes out the window. So it is what it is, man. Great game. Just bad coaching, bro. Just bad coaching. All right. Just bad coaching. So that's my thing. And then, once again, the greatness of Akil Glass, top 4 quarterback of all time. Shout out to AG4. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing, man. Looking to go drafted and stuff like that. So shout out to Akil. Shout out to him in an awesome career at Alabama A&M. And like I said in my last show, don't wait 20 years to put the boy in the Hall of Fame. Like, come on, man. He don't need to be 50, rolling out in a wheelchair, waving at people that don't know his name. Come on, 5 years, 6 years, put the boy in the Hall of Fame. All right, let's do it while he's young. All right. Upcoming games of Week 13. All right, first up, Blue, Tuskegee, Alabama State. You can give a score because I know you ain't covering this on your channel. So the Kentucky Day Classic, talk to me.
Nah, man. Hey, but between rivalry week, the FCS playoffs, this game was like 50th on the games to pick from. But I mean, Alabama State, man, should win this game. Listen, I mean, Tuskegee played Alabama A&M very, very close. They're that type of team that will stick around even when they might be outmanned. But for me, the way Alabama State's been playing down the stretch, especially last week, I think they pulled this one out. It's their game, like it's their classic. I mean, if they lose this one to Tuskegee, that's going to be a disappointing end to the season. But for me, with Davis at quarterback, with Merritt at running back, with the defense playing like it is with Earshad, I just don't see how they lose this game. I think Alabama State pulls this one out 35-16 over Tuskegee.
I'm riding with you. Alabama State can't lose this game. All right, you're building momentum just to end the season on a good note. I love the new quarterback. I think it's John Owens Jr. or something like that, something like that. He looks very athletic, mobile. I'm like, where has this kid been all year? You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, Ja'Cory Metters, Ezra Gray, and then you already know Alabama State's all about defense when it comes down to it. So, I have it 28-14. I don't really see a lot of, I don't know. Listen, it's something about them twos that Alabama State can't get over a 2 score. Like they can't get nothing in the threes. Like it just happens to be that way. So I'm gonna go with 28-14 Alabama State. And I think they're gonna pull it out and end the season on a good note. All right. Valley versus PV. Now, are you covering this or you just no? All right, let it ride. I'm gonna go first. Dancy! Coach Dancy. All right, listen. If this was at Valley, I would be picking the upset. All right, I'm telling you that if this was at the 12th man field, listen, I don't care what nobody saw. Valley has some voodoo on that grass. Okay, they have some voodoo on that grass. I would be picking Valley for the upset. PV, I think they're in a tune-up game. They're trying to get it right. I don't know if Jawan Pass is going to play with the hurt shoulder and everything like that. If he does, great. If he doesn't, All right, so I just think you give him more rest. I wouldn't play him because this game is really meaningless. I just want you to heal up, get healthy. But I have PV winning. If Jawan plays, I see it going in the 40s. If he doesn't play, I see it in the 30s. So I got it 21-35 PV. I'll keep it in between. So.
Listen, man, can you go ahead and hit that upset alert button for me?
Oh!
I'm going with Valley, man. I'm going with Valley. Listen, I got it on good authority that Pass isn't playing, and I think they're going to rest multiple starters. I don't think they care. I mean, what are they playing for? Even if they lose this game, they win next week. They go to the Celebration Bowl.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this game literally couldn't mean less to PV. Not to say I wouldn't even play a single person who you think will play a part in playing Jackson State. And I think they're going to rest Pass. I think they'll rest some of their key guys that might be a little bit banged up after A&M. I have Valley pulling out a close one, man, 23-17 over PV this weekend.
Man, that is what's up. Hit him with the upset alert. I love it. I know Valley's like, Scotty, how you turn your back on us? Man, I've been picking y'all enough, okay? I probably picked y'all more than anybody else on YouTube. All right, so don't disrespect, all right? Then y'all let me down against A&M when I picked the biggest upset of the year, and y'all laid the biggest egg, so I don't want to hear nothing. Next up, the Pop Warner Classic! Let's go! Pop Warner! I know Blue is like, hey, Scotty, I'm not going to call it that. I get it. I know you're
almost removed myself from the stream. I was going to let you talk about it, and then I'll come on when you put up the real name, just so I don't get drunk in the SWAC Sports Central group with you.
All right. I'm going to change it. Pop Warner Classic. I just want y'all to see that. All right, but I'm going to change it. All right, Bayou Classic. Go ahead, Blue. I'm changing it right now.
I know, man. I think Southern wins this game. The way Grambling's played down the stretch has been really disappointing. I think they've regressed as the seasons went on, rather than improved, unlike some teams. So for me, I think Southern runs up and down the field on them. I really think Southern makes a statement this weekend. I have Southern winning big. I have Southern winning 42-20 over Grambling this weekend.
Ooh, listen, first of all, I want you guys to understand how disrespectful it is that Blue is giving your score on this channel right now. That's when you know your game don't mean crap. All right. When Blue starts dropping scores, because you were like, I got a video coming out, Scotty Friday. Make sure you guys tune in. Nah, he said, I'm giving you the score right now. I'm not wasting my time picking it. I'm saying that for him. He didn't say that, but I'm saying that. Listen, I don't care who wins. I really don't. Southern Grant, I don't care. It's the Hood Super Bowl, as they call it. I don't care. All right. It's not interesting to watch. All right. I hope they don't. I hope they give my man Skelton the flowers he deserves, and he needs to start this game. Okay, can I say that? He needs to start this game. It's the senior year. Don't do my man like that. That's one. And then two, the only way this game I will watch this game is if Blue was coaching Grambling, I was coaching Southern, and we battled it out. Or a fan, you know. So just make the game more exciting. Listen, this is the Pop Warner Classic, like I call it. It's not even worth my time. All right. So I don't care who wins. I don't care whoever's a Grambling fan, pray that you win. Whoever's a Southern fan, you shouldn't care. Rollins is getting fired anyway. All right. It's gonna be a Black Monday for him. All right. Be tuned into the channel. I'm going live as soon as it's announced he's fired. I'm going live. All right. All right. Here we go. Who cares? So, all right. We here. Blue is here. Game of the week. Man. Southeast Louisiana versus FAMU, the breakdown. All right. First up, I'm gonna give my X factors. All right, and then Blue's gonna give his X factors. My X factors are this, right? From Southeast Louisiana. All right, number 4, Austin Mitchell. These are people I want y'all to look out for when you're watching the game. All right. Number 5, the backup quarterback, Cephas Johnson. Number 88. I'm telling you right now, this dude, Nolan Given, is the real deal. Holyfield, the tight end. Of course, you know that big boy, 6'7", god dog, born in a manger. All right, Cole Kelly. And then for FAMU, it's simple. Bishop Bonnet, the grandma. All right, I know that's not a good nickname, but the reason I call him the grandma is because he does everything. Takes care of the kids. He cooks dinner. He lays the kids down. He walks the kids. Does everything for them. All right. X-Man, as you already know, and then Bell and Blue. Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, man, it starts with Zah Alexander, man. Listen, this kid's a freshman in the back end of the secondary, man. Six interceptions this year, leads the Southland, would be number 1 in the SWAC. It has an interception, Scotty, in 4 of his last 5 games. I mean, he does it every week, and some of them are just stupid athletic, man. I mean, this kid looks like a wide receiver playing DB. Also for them, number 61, offensive tackle, Rendon Miles Character. He's an All-American Southland offensive tackle selection. He's going to be matched up with Isaiah Land this weekend. You better block somebody. Listen, if there's any game you have to show up at offensive tackle, it is this one, because you have the FCS sack leader on your hands, and if he gets to Cole Kelly repeatedly, Southeastern Louisiana is in trouble. Now, the other one, I got, we're doing some film. I got some film of this guy, Gage Lavardian, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's their kick returner. This kid is lightning in a bottle, man. He had a 100-yard kick return this year. He's averaging over 30 yards of return this season. And this kid, I mean, listen, if he gets an open space and you miss one tackle, he's going to the house. And he also plays wide receiver as well in the slot. So this kid's going to be a problem. And for FAMU, I went all defense. Scotty got the Bishop Bonnet ones and everything. Isaiah Land, obviously, is going to have to be an X factor. Isaiah Land, if this is a money-making game, in my opinion, Scotty, for Isaiah Land. This is a money-making game. Those scouts are going to turn on the TV, and if you have 2-3 sacks again in this game, that's a moneymaker. You get a round boost, something, and you're probably going to be able to get on some scouts' radars. And then also BJ Bowler at the DB position, man. Listen, you could talk about the safeties, Collier and Bell. They always show up.
Yep.
BJ Bowler is going to be tested this weekend. He's played very well this year. He played really well in the Alabama A&M game. This weekend, we're going to find out exactly what we have in terms of BJ Bowler's talent, because he is going to have to go up against however many wide receivers you want to. You could do Austin. There's 4 or 5 guys that could take over a game for Southeastern Louisiana. BJ Bowler is going to have to be the leader of the cornerbacks, because we know their safeties are good, but Scotty, you've even said on this show their DBs aren't great. They're not deep, at least. BJ Bowler is the leader. Can he rally this group for a big performance? Because as we're going to see on this film, they're going to spread you out, and you're going to have to go make plays in one-on-one coverage on an island. Can BJ Bowler do that this weekend?
All right, let's get into the Southeast. Okay, strength and weaknesses, Blue. Pop it off.
Well, strengths is, I mean, man, they got arguably the best quarterback in the country for FCS. I mean, Eric Barrier is probably the only person that would have an argument over Cole Kelly. I would put Barrier over him, but it goes back and forth. And there's a lot of people who think he's about to win the Walter Payton Award again. The strength is him. Like, he is their team. He can run the football. He can throw the football. You can't sack him because he's damn near bigger than every D lineman that he sees on the field. And he's experienced. You know, I actually saw Cole Kelly play in person, Scotty, as a freshman. He started the Auburn-Arkansas game in 2016 when I was in Fayetteville. I drove up to Arkansas to see that game. That was his first ever start. Got murdered. But he was a true freshman. But listen, a little braggadocious there. But listen, he's a big dude. I mean, he literally looks like an offensive tackle was put at quarterback. But his arm strength is there, his pocket presence, his experience carries this team because he always makes the correct decision, Scotty. You look at his INT to touchdown ratio, it's great. Usually he makes the proper decision 9 times out of 10. So for me, that's the strength. The weakness is just the overall run game. They cannot run the ball in a fundamental way. The way they run the ball is they toss it to their running backs outside on screens, on jet sweeps. That's how they run the ball, but they can't run the ball very well between the tackles outside of Kelly. That's a big weakness for the offense. Now, defense, weakness is D-line size. They got nobody. I mean, Scotty, me and you might be might be able to play DN for them. And you know, for me, they have to get a pass rush this weekend because, as you know, everyone can hate on Rashawn McKay, but if you give him a million years to throw the ball, he's going to be able to find X. He's going to be able to find Shareed, and those guys are going to be able to make plays out in space. So a weakness is the D-line size. Another one, tackling. This team is atrocious at tackling. I mean, Scotty, I don't know if they don't have, you know, tackling dummies in Louisiana or what. They can't tackle a soul in open field. I mean, really and truly, I mean, if you watch the film, every time in space, when you watched the last game they played, I'm blanking on the team they just lost to. Yeah, Nichols. There were multiple plays where they had the running back at the line of scrimmage, and he broke like 3 tackles, and it led to a big explosive play or a touchdown. If X and Shareed get out in the open field, do you trust them to tackle them? I don't know if you could say 100% yes. That's another weakness. But the strength, interception machine, man. One of the best teams at forcing interceptions. All their DBs are athletic. The problem is they can't tackle. But if you throw at them, they're just like a wide receiver. I'm talking about you can go watch highlights, and there's one-handed catch after one-handed catch and, you know, mossing a wide receiver. So that's their strength is they can force turnovers at an extremely high rate. Rashawn McKay only has 4 picks on the year, but if he catches the turnover bug this weekend, go ahead and just seal up this season. Yeah, because if you give extra possessions to this offense, you're going to lose this game. So that's going to be the strength of their defense, in my opinion.
All right, so for me, I'm going to touch a little bit, and I'm going to go to the FAMU side. For me, I think a lot of people, when you really watch this offense at work, it's not a over the top of your head offense. And I think people get that misconstrued about Cole Kelly being 6'7", 260. He's actually more deadly 20 and down. 20 and down, he's cold. He's a cold-blooded killer. Like, you know, I'm going to tell the fans this. He would rather throw a 10-yard that goes 50 than just throwing a 50-yard bomb. That's the style of offense that you're going to see a lot of this game. And I think people need to put in perspective that, you know, you're going to see a lot of 5-yard hitches, 7-yard slants. You're going to see a lot of dinking and dunking, but he's just expecting his playmakers to go make plays on the back end. But you're going to see the 10-yard, the 15-yard dig. You're going to see the 15-yard comeback. You're going to see the corner. You're going to see a post, but you're not going to see the fade that's just 30 or 40-yard bomb and he's Patrick Mahomes in it. That's not his style of play. So I don't want people to get misconstrued by the size of him, but that's what you think you're going to see. So it's not. Now going into the FAMU, for me, FAMU strengths is simple. Defense. Defense travels, defense goes. You probably have arguably one of the top defenses in the FCS by far none. Point blank, period. All right. You got Gentle Hut, Savion Williams up front. You have Isaiah Land. You have Collier, Bell, BJ Bowler. I mean, you have studs at every possible position that you could want to have it at. And then that D-line is just what comes to bringing it on the opposite side of the ball, running the ball. You probably have one of the top stable of running backs in the SWAC as well as FCS, where it comes to having Bishop, Terrell, and then I believe Trayvon. I can't get the last guy's name, but those three. That's your strength of your team. And Rashawn McKay, as they say, game manager of the year. Mr. Campbell will love to call him the game manager of the year. Give him an award. It is what it is. Now, the weakness for me in this team is actually the passing. Passing attack is not the strongest. It's not your forte. So if you get down, I don't look for FAMU to throw themselves back into a game. I would never assume that. I don't think that Willie Simmons would put that pressure on Rashawn McKay to battle Cole Kelly. If I'm Willie Simmons, I'm telling you, this is not a battle between you and Cole Kelly. It's just not. I don't want you to think that. I don't want you to even, oh, I'm gonna go out. No, let your teammates do the work, and you continue to do what you do. Just be mistake-free football. And then on the weakness side of the defense, I still have to go with their DBs. I don't trust them. I know BJ Bowler had a great 2 games, but I've seen him get worked as well. And every DB does. So I'm not going to say every DB does. I've seen Zai get got, you know what I'm saying, from southeast of Louisiana. But I just think with that size and their athleticism, sometimes they can get lost. But I think this matchup for this team is actually perfect for FAM's DBs, because they don't have the 6'4", 6'5" guy that's just going to moss you like a Kamari Everett. Like, they don't have that kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? But they do have Nolan Given, but he's still not a Kamari Everett. So, Blue, we're going to get into your film breakdown. Go ahead and cue it up and let these people know what you've been looking at.
Let's see. Let's get this going. Yeah, man. So I started out with the red zone, man, because I think for me, bro, the red zone attack of this team, I mean, is crazy. Because I mean, they have 66 red zone opportunities this year, and they've scored on 60 of them. Wow. I mean, the efficiency of that is almost unheard of, and it's because you have a 6'7" quarterback that nobody can stop. I mean, when he gets going downhill, and also they spread you out so much that you have to play damn near perfect defense in the red zone. And so what you'll usually see is one of 2 things, and you'll see it in this clip. And you'll see the motion. They're either going to motion a wide receiver across to get you moving, or they're going to motion the running back out to 5 wide. That's the 2 things they usually do. And when they motion someone across, it's usually a quarterback power. Usually, because they want those linebackers to be watching him, and then the quarterback's coming right downhill, and if they're not ready, they're getting run smack over. So you'll see who he goes 5 wide, and they always have an H-back. The H-back is always going to go out on a route for the most part. And you're just going to see them. They spread out, run 2 slants, and he's going to throw to the open one, and they spread you out, and that's how they're going to score. That's why BJ Bowler is so important. If you can't play on an island in the red zone, they're scoring every single time they get inside the 20. Mm-hmm. Every single time. And then this play, they're just going to run a QB power. And Scotty, I know you're probably going to have some of this on yours as well. To watch the offensive line in this power where they allow the D-line to come upfield and they just seal off perfectly. If you watch the tackle on this play on the far side, they seal the defensive end so well, and all it is him versus a safety, and he just runs them smack over. And I mean, and the running back's the lead blocker, and they seal off right there. This guy, yeah. I don't know if you can see my key. He seals them off perfectly, and then it's him versus a linebacker, and he's going to run straight over the end zone. I mean, it was beautiful blocking for me for that offensive lineman. The fact they let him come upfield, and the guard and the tackle sealed him perfectly on the back end. Beautiful, beautiful blocking, by the way. Sorry, I've got to geek out as an offensive lineman. But – and then the other one, too, when you look at the same game, this is where they're going to motion a guy all the way across, and they're going to come right up the middle on you. And when you're coming downhill with Cole Kelly, nothing. Look at that. I mean, there wasn't a person on the field that could have stopped that, Scotty.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, because all they're doing, if you watch the linebackers, they just freeze with the motion. And then he could have went, what? There's 1, 2, 3 different holes that he could have went straight through, and the running back's going to lead block, and he doesn't even block the right guy, and he still gets in.
Yeah.
He ran into the back of his offensive tackle, and he still had multiple holes to get into, and that's where FAMU is going to be challenged, because there's nobody in the SWAC that is this efficient in the red zone, because Jackson State can't run the football whatsoever. You know, in Alabama, A&M,
yeah.
and most of the time, they don't even get to the red zone for Alabama A&M. They're so explosive that they score from like the 50. So that's going to be a challenge. And then I mean, you're going to see in this pass. So the H-back is going to go out here, and he's just going to run like a little angle route.
Yeah.
Yep, and bang right there. And the thing with Kelly is he's so accurate, 74% completion percentage. And if you back it up, Scotty, as a wide receiver, when you're looking at this route, he's going to have to throw to that back shoulder. Let me pause it right here because this guy is going to come down on the inside, and he has an inside guy right here. If he throws that just in front of him, that could be picked.
Yeah.
But if you watch, he hits him right in the back shoulder, and it's a touchdown every time. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. And that's how creative they are in the red zone. They could throw to the H-back. They could throw to the tight end. They could spread you out in 5 wide and throw to one of the wide receivers. They can run a QB power. They can run just a QB draw. And there's literally nothing you can do about it because they're so versatile in how they attack your defense. And also the tight end's a monster. Again, another motion. They're going to run QB power and no one touches them. If FAMU gets caught up in the motion, Scotty, I don't know if they stop them in the red zone once, because once your linebackers are frozen and their eyes are in the wrong spot, that's a problem. If you watch any of these new age offenses, you look at the Gus Malzahn offenses, you look at the Bill O'Brien, Steve Sarkisian, they use motion to fool the linebackers, and then they take advantage of where you were supposed to be, and that's exactly what Southeastern Louisiana does. And also, you could say Marquise Bell could take your head off or whatever you want to say. But for me, when it's 6'7" versus 6'3", and it's 6'7", 260 versus 6'3", 215, 220, it's going to be a problem. And then right here too, this I pulled this play because everyone says they can't run the ball. This is how they run the ball. They just send the running back out in the backfield, and he just turns and throws it. And look at this. Their wide receivers are so great at blocking. This guy's manned up. He seals this guy off. This guy has this guy, and then it's him versus this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He's got to beat one guy, and he's just physical at the line. Look, he said, "I'm going to push everybody in the zone with me." And so they're very disciplined in their blocking schemes because they're so used to blocking for the running backs for short routes. These guys will go block 50 yards down the field on explosive plays, and that's why they're so good at getting the running back out of the backfield. So the offense, where if you want to look at somebody and compare it, you have to look at Mississippi State's offense with Mike Leach. This is exactly how he uses his running backs in his air raid attack. He just says, listen, y'all are going to catch the football and you're just going to dump it off, and you're going to go make plays in space. The number one key for them, playmakers make plays in space, and that's their offense. And this one, just a simple play action. And look at the ball placement on this, Scotty. There's going to be a safety coming over. Where can that ball go? Where can that ball go? Hits him right in the chest, and the safety had no chance. The safety took a perfect angle, and he dropped it in there perfectly for that touchdown. And I mean, and he put some sail on that ball, and there was nothing you could do about it. So ball placement is going to be another thing as well. And then right here, Scotty, you know this highlight, that this is going to be a problem for FAMU.
This is crazy right here. Draped all over.
Look at this.
Yeah, just let it play, Blue, so they can see it.
Yeah. Nothing you could do. He had him around the waist, and he just tossed it out there. And I mean, it's impressive how he does it. And then right here, look at this. It's open field tackling. You have to wrap these guys up in space. What, Scotty? That was a 5-yard gain turned into a touchdown because you didn't wrap up an open field. Marquise Bell, Antoine Collier, BJ Bowler, you have to make plays in open space or this team's going to beat you. Austin is too explosive and too good for you not to wrap up. Then right here again, a fake toss, and what's he going to do? Right back to the running back, Scotty. And then watch. If you don't wrap up an open field, they're just going to run you over.
Mm-hmm.
No hesitation, and they're so explosive. And that's that freshman. That's the kick returner.
The 82.
So they put wide receivers at running back because they can play all these different positions. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so for me, That's the number one things to watch. And then this is the kick return, and then I'll let you go, man. Look at how explosive this kid is. One crease and he's out of there.
Gone.
Out of there. No chance. So for me, that's going to be the number. Those are going to be the keys, man. That's the up down, man. The red zone attack for them is arguably the best in the country, and that's what impressed me most watching the film on this team.
And you know what? It's funny that listen, guys. I want to be very clear. Like, me and Blue did not coordinate our plays. I literally, some of the same plays you're gonna see on mine, but I'm gonna just tell you why I picked them for. I picked pretty much. Not all the same plays, but pretty much the same plays. But for me, it's the X factors, right? And I just want to show you why these guys are important to what they like to do. All right. So Southeast Louisiana's X factors for me. And once again, this is the backup quarterback, Cephas, right? So you see him get this snap. And I don't want people to think that, oh, if Cephas is in the game, he's always going to run. That's not true. He is a backup quarterback that has an arm. He can throw this thing, but they use him in a wildcat formation, and he does power runs as well. All right. This is what, 2nd and 10. And then if you watch the whole game, they go right back to it on 3rd and 3. So it's an aspect of their game that they also use as well, that they'll bring in. They'll take Cole Kelly off the field. All right. The same thing I've been saying about using Ladarius Skelton, but we're not going to talk about that. So, you take him off the field, you put an athlete back there at quarterback, and you use him appropriately as well. All right. This is what I call a security blanket, right? This is 88. And you're just going to see him use 88 in multiple different fashions. Once again, Blues play in the red zone, drops it in the back, 88 again. All right. Well, that's another play he catches in the back. This is Blues play, 88 again. Listen, tight ends in the SWAC are not used. Okay, I want to be very clear. The reason I'm showing you Nolan Givens is because if you go watch any game in the SWAC, there's probably Bethune and Southern are probably the two teams that use their tight end the most out of a lot of teams. Now, Alabama A&M throws a couple plays to them, but what I'm talking about I'm talking about like Travis Kelce use, okay? That's how they use 88. They use him like a Travis Kelce. They want to get him the ball in space. I'm talking about 5, 10, 15 yards down the field. Cole Kelly is looking for 88 Nolan Givens. All right. Next up. Once again, now this is Austin Mitchell, right? And the one thing about Austin Mitchell is the fact of I'll say he's X 2.0, right? So if you were comparing the player, they're pretty much one and the same. All right. I think X might be a little faster than him, just a little, but I think they're both the same. But the way Cole Kelly trusts Austin Mitchell, he is his security blanket, right? You're going to see number 4 a lot. I mean, hitches, comebacks, whatever they can do to get him the ball, they're going to do it. And the one thing I will say is Cole Kelly's issue is he's a pre-snap reader. So if he has Mitchell on a side, he's going to force it. All right. Because he believes in Mitchell that much to get it to be open. That's called a trust with the receiver, that he's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to run it at the right route. He's going to break it off at the right time, or he's going to find the zone and sit down like he's supposed to. And Austin Mitchell is that guy for him in every facet. All right. Now, this is what I want to talk about: creativity. When I tell you, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've never seen this, right? They have, I don't know how many people are on our close side. It's probably 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 people lined up, right? They still go to Austin Mitchell. They come back, they hurry up, they bring it up, and what do they do next play? They throw it to my man 82, which Blue just told you, give it to him on the other side, and they just do the same thing. All right, so the creativity that you're going to see is not going to be the same as what you see in the SWAC. Not even close. All right. And I'm also going to show you some FAMU guides, what FAMU has to do to be effective. All right. FAMU has to go back and watch the Jackson State film. All right. Because what Southeast Louisiana is going to do to generate pressure, Blue already told you, me and him are on the D-line. Okay. So they're not going to get pressure with just a 4. They are going to blitz. They're going to run blitz you. They're going to double A gap blitz you. You're going to have to be able to pick that up and throw it efficiently or run it efficiently. All right.
Call there. Instead, a 35-yard run with no penalty. And Ward
Don't try Zion. Look at this. This is a bad ball, by the way.
steps up in the pocket, has a man open, but instead Alexander. Like these 2 weeks.
He's not to play with. All right. That's somebody you don't want to play with. If you're off, he's going to be on. All right. You need to be on.
Go. Morris said, we're just had to stop.
This is what Bishop Bonnet needs to look like. A lot of this from Bishop Bonnet.
Time. At his best game efficiency-wise last week in a win over HBU. He's been
This
very
is what
good
Bishop
today.
Bonnet needs to
And
be
Kevin
doing a lot
Brown
of.
breaks out on a first down carry. Brown from behind a flat.
A lot of this. A lot of this. All right. It needs to be Bishop Bonnet left, Bishop Bonnet right, Bishop Bonnet up the middle, Bishop Bonnet toss. It needs to be Bishop Bonnet week. All right. He needs to be off his feet right now because that's how much he's going to be running the ball. All right.
Is down to add more to this because of the.
And then last but not least, all right, this is what you need to do with X. You need to have Xavier in the slot working on the inside of their DBs, right? So if you're looking at the top side, look at the middle guy. This is X all day long. Shareed all day long, all right? You can win with that. That's an easy read for Rashawn McKay. It's an easy pitch and toss. And what do? They blitz, all right? They bring the blitz. Got to pick it up, got to hit it, and get big yards off of it. Those are just some guys that FAMU has to see and has to do to get this game and to be productive in this game. And we're going to ask two more. We're going to ask 2 questions, and then we're going to take callers, all right? 516-259-9041, 516-259. Call lines are open. Let me open them up.
You are the only participant in the conference.
Call lines are open, all right? Call lines are open. Blue, what does FAMU need to do to win this game?
Listen, run the ball, run it some more, and once you get tired of running the ball, run it again. Because I mean that's it. I mean, like, listen, Bishop Bonnet should have to be taken off the field in an ice bath on Saturday night. That's how many times he needs to touch the football. Listen, this is not Rashawn McKay's game to, prove anything. For me, this is Bishop Bonnet and Jennings and McLeod. This is their moment to go make some money because you have the advantage O-line versus D-line, and you have the better athletes at the running back spot compared to their linebackers. Go make plays in open space, do short passes, intermediate routes, get McKay comfortable on the road against a very stingy secondary. Don't force things. Give him high percentage throws that he feels comfortable with. So for me, I think those are the keys for FAMU to win the game. And then on defense, do your thing. Get to the quarterback, play stout run defense, and don't allow any explosive plays. That's what FAMU has built their whole season on. So for me, those things will probably be the keys for FAMU to win this game.
All right. So listen, let me touch on this real quick. I'm doubling up on this running. All right. I'm doubling. Listen, double down. I'm double downing on this. Listen, you're gonna have to be, and I can't stress this enough with Coach Willie Simmons, Coach KJ. Like, listen, you need to go back against Jackson State and watch how you ran against the blitz. You have to go back and watch that film because that's going to be what effectively gets you ahead in this game is running against the blitz. It's not going to be too many times Southeast Louisiana is just going to send 4 knowing that they don't have the elite pass rush. They are going to bring their linebackers. So running against the blitz, picking that up is going to be huge. And you want this game to be listen, if this game gets over 35 points, you're losing. I'm telling you that right now. If it's a 35-31 game, I got you winning it. If it's anything below 35, I believe FAMU can win this game. But if you let it go in the 40s, you will not win this game. I'm telling you that right now. So you need to keep it low. You need to keep it a dog fight, a straight dog fight. And you're highly capable of winning this game. Nobody in this, if anybody in this chat says they're going to get blown out, it's probably because of missed tackles or missed opportunities. But talent-wise, this team is not head and shoulders above what FAMU is bringing on the field at all. All right. What Southeast Louisiana needs to do to win? You have to be effective. Like listen. It's something my coaches always say. If we're going to go down swinging, we're going to go down swinging how we go. Like, we're going to play how we play, right? So if you're Southeast Louisiana, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, all right? You really don't. Work with what you have. Find the mismatches and work that, all right? So for me, I'm actually working on, I would mismatch these linebackers. I would spread these linebackers out of FAMU, and I'm working these linebackers to death. I'm going to take my guy, Austin Mitchell. I'm going to leave him in the slot because I don't believe FAMU is going to have a DB travel with him. So Austin Mitchell and 82 are going to kill whoever in the slot. That's what I'm going to set it up as. And I'm actually going to, I'm going to run just to keep you honest. All right, I'm going to run just to keep you honest, just to see what it looks like or how you do and things like that. And defensive-wise, Rashawn McKay is going to have to beat me. I'm going to put everybody in the box. They mama, they cousin, they second cousin, they sister. Everybody is going to be in the box. Bishop Bonnet is not going to beat me today. Your running game is not going to beat me. Rashawn McKay is, and I'm putting Ty on X. I'm putting Ty on X. I'm putting Zai on X, and we just gonna match up and we gonna go out there. What you got, Blue?
Man, for me, just put the ball in Cole Kelly's hands, man. It got you here, and it'll get you out. I mean, really and truly, I mean, I understand that they haven't necessarily seen a defense like a FAMU, but man, I don't think Cole Kelly is going to be afraid of the moment or afraid to take risk or afraid to test this defense. And all you have to do is run your game plan, spread them out, find your favorable matchup, and pick on that corner until they change it up. And then when they change it up, find your mismatch and beat them up on that as well. And then also when you get, all you got to do is get to the red zone. That's where you're efficient. The games for FAMU is going to be won inside like from 20 to 20. If you can keep them out of the red zone, you got it. But if for Southeastern Louisiana, get to the red zone and you have a great chance to win the game. For me though, on defense, turnovers. But anytime McKay puts it in the air, you should be looking for a pick. You should be looking to get his confidence wavered. You saw in the Jackson State game, he was not confident after the first half in anything he was doing, and he was hesitating on throws. He was missing throws. If you can force him into some early turnovers, this whole FAMU offense changes. Because then you become one-dimensional and you become much easier to defend. So for me, I'm looking to force as many turnovers as possible. And really and truly, I think if you force one or two turnovers, you win the game. Those are your one or two stops that you need to put your offense in good field position and have a chance to extend the lead.
Yeah.
And for me, just trust your playmakers, man. You know who your breadwinners are on this offense. Get them the football, and you don't have to change anything. You got here doing exactly that air raid style attack where that nobody in the country other than McNeese in the second game they got you, which Scotty, as a football player, you know, if you have to play a team twice in 3 weeks, a lot different the second time.
Facts.
To have to try to rebound. So let's ease up on the, McNeese State, laid the blueprint particularly because I think that was a different situation. But just stick to your gameplay, man. Put it in the arguably the best quarterback in the FCS hands and let him go win you this game. And that's gonna be your key.
I want to touch on this. I like this, them boys. I totally forgot to bring this up. Southeastern going for it on fourth down as much as they do. I'm telling you right now, if it's 4th and 3, 4th and 2, they're not getting off the field. Okay, like they trust their offense that much that I think somebody said they have gone for it on fourth down more than they've punted all season. I think that's what the announcer said that against the in the game we was watching, the Incarnate Word game. So be very mindful that you think you got, it's fourth down, 4th and 3, or they're going to punt. No, they're going to leave that boy Cole Kelly out there and make something happen. That's how much they trust their offense, just like that's how much FAMU trust their defense, right? So it's literally, it's going to be a strength against a strength. And listen, guys, watch the matchups, watch the individual matchups. That's what this game is going to come down to, is who makes plays, who steps up in this big moment. Our big time player is going to make big time plays. All right, let me take the first caller. Hey, man, listen, we taking calls all day. If you have any questions, 516-259-9041, 516-259-9041. Yeah. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to us.
How's it going? My name's Bryce from Austin, Texas. I think the keys for FAMU are going to definitely be, like you said, Scotty, you need to double down on running the ball. you've got to limit your turnovers, because if you turn it over, I mean, Southeastern's got a 8 out of 10%, 88% chance to probably score. I went to Southeastern for undergrad and Texas Southern for law school. And so a lot of people don't know so their leading receiver is actually hurt. And the two games that they most recently lost, Incarnate Ward and then Nichols, those were 2 games after Austin Mitchell got hurt. People don't realize that Austin Mitchell is literally the heart of that offense. And the season has basically gone downhill since. I mean, we had 2 out of 3 losses since Austin Mitchell got hurt. But if FAMU does not score 35, they have no chance of winning this, because Southeastern is going to score. And then also another thing, the last thing is FAMU is probably going to have more fans than Southeastern, just because our fan base, everybody's going to Bayou Classic. And then you might have the old locals in Hammond, but I wouldn't be surprised if FAMU has more fans and it's a home crowd.
Hey, let me ask you a question before I let you go, Bryce. So is Austin Mitchell, he's healthy, right? Or is he going to be playing in this game?
No, he's out for the season.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, he's out for the season. And in that game, he got hurt in the McNeese game. He didn't play the week after in Incarnate Word when we lost. And I don't think we kind of found the groove. It's hard to tell because we played Nichols twice. So the second game, like Blue said, you can never really judge it when you play a second team twice in the same season. But that Incarnate Word game, you could tell that they were not the same offense. Well, I mean, they still put up, I think, like 40 or 50, but it's definitely different without Austin Mitchell. He's our career leading receiver of all time, and he has like every single record. So he's definitely a big loss. So I think FAMU's just they have to score 35. If they don't score 35, they're going to lose this game, because we are going to score.
Listen, bro, like I'm not gonna lie to you. Austin Mitchell being out is a big time loss. I mean, I think he's probably gonna force feed the tight end and then Pringle. Number one, I like number 1 too, Pringle and Gage as well. But I don't, man. Austin Mitchell is the real deal, man. I think he's kind of a Deontay Harris for the Saints. He's kind of like in that kind of realm of real shifty guy, can get open. So it's gonna be. It's gonna be a team effort. It's definitely gonna be a team effort.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the call, Bryce. Hey, Blue. Oh my God, Austin Mitchell being out for the game.
He played last week.
That's what I thought.
He played last week. That's not like I know I just looked it up again. Like I watched the film. Like. He played last week.
That's what somebody said. I'm sure Mitchell scored a touchdown against Incarnate Word.
Yeah, like he had 8 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown last week. Like I know I watched the game.
I was like, I thought he was. That's like breaking news. I'm like, dang. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
How is he still healthy and he played?
Watch. He's not healthy. He's still hurt. So I'm confused. Is he in or is he out?
Literally 5 days ago, the Southland Conference tweeted Austin Mitchell races in for 6 against Nichols to score.
So he's healthy. All right. So he's playing. He will be at the FAMU game. I highly doubt he's not going to be at the game if he was just playing 5 days ago. All right. This is crazy. I'm so crazy. Like we had nothing. The boy, see Bryce, false. You over here, false information, boy. False information. It's all right though. Appreciate the call in though. It's crazy though. I thought people would be blowing these phone lines up. It was only one person that's crazy. But let me ask you this, Blue. If this game can Southeast Louisiana win under 30? If it's an under 30 game, can they win that?
No. So Southeastern's scoring 30 plus. That question you asked me like a few weeks ago about so pulling up Paul Pierce, but for me, they're scoring 30 easily. Off rip, 100%. Just like I told you, it was 100%. A&M and Texas Southern are going over 100. They're scoring 30. And so if FAMU doesn't score 30 plus, they're not winning the game. They're just not. And so for me, I think they're going to score 30. And really and truly, man, listen, I saw the comments and I wanted to address them, but we were going through the film.
Yeah.
All the comments saying Incarnate Word don't have a defense. They held Prairie View, the number 2 offense in the SWAC, to 9 points, and made Jawan Pass look like a bum in that game. 3 interceptions. Like it was Pass's worst performance of the season. So all this talk that the Southland doesn't have defense, McNeese shut down Southern. So like ease up on like the, just I guess generalizations on defense off of one game. Like I promise you it's gonna be okay. But for me, I think they're putting up 30 minimum. And that's even against this FAMU defense. Listen, man, they're great. But we've talked off camera. For me personally, I don't think FAMU's seen an offense like this. I don't think Jackson State is on this level. I don't think Alabama A&M is on this level because of the athleticism that really and truly Kelly shows in and outside the pocket, and the pocket presence with his size. It's different. So for me, I think they're putting up 30 easily.
This is and we talked about this. I think FAMU have seen a better collective group of receivers with Alabama A&M. So I think A&M has a better group of receivers. Hilaire, Abdul, D, Juice. You add those bad boys to Cole Kelly, they averaging 60. Okay, like I want to be very clear. They're averaging 60. So I'm not, the only thing to me that separates Alabama A&M's offense to Southeast is Cole Kelly. Cole Kelly's mobility, his power running, he's all that in the bag of chips. All right, let me get some of these callers. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, man.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna kind of say it like this, man. True Rattler fan, both money and graduate. I'm gonna kind of say, man, based on the SWAC and what I saw this year, I'm gonna say we somewhat like a British heavyweight champion. And what I mean by that is this right here. I think we are knocking out competition that is, fair, but when we come to the United States as a British heavyweight, what's going to happen when you get with some top 10 heavyweights, right? So this was like I did not want to see this matchup. I kind of wanted to see more Kennesaw State. That was one in which a game could be a little bit. This type of offense is an offense that kind of concerns me, and that is quick strike. If you look at the Alabama A&M game, you saw kind of those kind of offense can give us problems. Again, I love Bell, I love Collier, but I'm not sure on the coverage end of it. That remains to be seen. The ability to play deep and play coverage ball. If we allow this team to get out and have quick strikes, what kind of concerns me is that does that make Coach Simmons get out of his game plan to try to still run the football and adapt to them? And that's what they do to you. I think their offense is kind of like their defense. It puts so much pressure on you that you then get out of your game plan trying to play catch up, and that plays into their hands.
Yeah, and so I like that analogy. And me and Blue talked about it. We talked about it as like Golden State Warriors, and I said, it looks good when you first start playing it. You're like, oh, you're shooting threes and I'm shooting threes. They're like, no, we do this. Like this, we live here. You just rent here. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to get into a shootout with Southeastern Louisiana because that's not your style of play. You don't even know what that looks like for you. But go ahead.
Right. And so like I said, it's more so like when I see a British heavyweight champion, it's like everybody over in Britain thought that, I forget the guy over there that's supposed to be the heavy. I forget his name.
Anthony Joshua.
But everybody looks and say that again.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. Everybody go, oh, this guy's awesome. So in our own world, we look at the SWAC and kind of go like, oh man, we're doing this, we're doing that. But if we look at kind of like some of the things that we do from the Mississippi Valley State game, you escaped out of that.
That's
to
real.
The Alabama A&M game, we get out of that, and then sometime in some of those games we're winning at home, the offense just completely goes to sleep in a second. You're not going to be able to do that against Southeast Louisiana. You're not going to be able to do that. So this game is huge, like I say, not only for HBCUs but for just all of the SWAC, because if it doesn't go well, now that committee is going like, okay, that's it. I don't care if another team goes 10-1, 9-2. no, we're not putting you guys in here anymore because that you guys not competing at the same level. So it's huge. It's real huge.
That's
man.
real.
So,
hey, appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Woo, man, that's real though. That's real. That's real. Hold on, I'm gonna take this call real quick. I'm gonna take this call, Blue. Hey, Coach Green, you allowed to talk to us.
All right. What you think about Shavion Williams and Gentle Hunt? How big of a game they gonna need to be putting pressure on from the middle, putting pressure on Cole?
Go ahead, Blue, because we just talked about that.
Man, I mean, if they don't put Savion at D tackle, I'll be shocked. The D coordinator got to be fired. I mean, you got to put some size in the middle, man. Because I mean, if you watch any film, the pressure on the outside of the pocket, so off the edge, doesn't affect Kelly because he's so athletic that he can step up in the pocket and make plays outside. So for me, I personally don't think getting pressure up, off the edge is going to be the key. Getting pressure to collapse the pocket up the middle at D tackle, that's going to be the key. So Gentle, Hunt, Savion are going to have giant games because if you can prevent him from escaping the pocket, that's how you can trap him, and then you can gang tackle him in the pocket and avoid him bullying one of your undersized defensive ends. Because I mean, Isaiah Land's only 6'4", like 215. So for me, I would really, really worry him one-on-one against, Cole Kelly in open space, because I really think Cole Kelly is going to put him in the dirt. To be completely honest with you, he's going to put one stiff arm and he's going to be able to create enough separation to get away. It's going to be a challenge for FAMU to get Kelly on the ground. So generating pressure up the middle is going to be the number one key for this FAMU defense.
I would say this though. We're going to find out how real FAMU defense is.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's real. It's what that number one really look like. You're right. I agree.
Yeah. But this is where I worried at, because Alabama A&M, Jackson State, both kind of expose this. They cornerbacks.
So
what you got to say about that?
Talking about FAMU's?
Yeah, FAMU's corners.
Yeah, I mean, the corners, to me, I've been, listen, I'm not a fan of number 11. And I've said that on many of times. And then, he went out against Alabama A&M and got a couple picks. I got one pick or something like that. And then went against, I think he got a pick against Bethune, and I think he got a pick against a team before Bethune that they played.
He was defensive player of the game.
Yeah, so
you don't like CJ Bowling?
I'm not listen. I've seen him get embarrassed, but DBs get embarrassed. I just haven't been a big fan of number 11 because I've seen him get bodied against. I think this game fares well for him, and there's no big body receiver. He does not do well with big guys, and most DBs his size don't do well with big guys. So, Southeast Louisiana doesn't have that 6'4", 6'5" guy. I mean, FAMU doesn't have that 6'4". No, I'm sorry. Southeast Louisiana doesn't have that 6'4", 6'5" guy that they can just run a slant and he box them out and keep catching it. Because that's literally all Valley did. If you go back and watch the Valley game against FAMU, they ran a slant. I'm like, y'all run slants on him all day because the guy's just too big to get in front of him. So, but this should fare well for him because the receivers are all in his size. So I think he should be a much bigger factor in this game than if there was a Kamari Everett on the outside or something like that.
Yeah, because I feel like they saw some of the best receivers between Alabama and Jackson State. They saw some of the Alabama A&M and Jackson State between the type of receivers they have. Because they both got their own style of receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And how you feel about that? Do you think they saw enough with them too?
You got it, Blue?
I just the difference. I still think there's a fundamental difference. Like, it's easy to just say, oh, Alabama A&M's offense is similar, so it's just Alabama A&M 2.0. But the way they attack the defense is so different, and the way the wide receivers act are so different because Alabama A&M has some size in their wide receiving core that can go up and make one-on-one, and D can go up in one-on-one coverage at 6'6" and beat anybody in one-on-one coverage. But Alabama A&M just doesn't spread you out, and they don't. For me, I disagree with Scotty a little bit on this. We talked about this off camera.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the wide receiving core for Southeastern is much more explosive than Alabama A&M's, because I've seen them in open field absolutely embarrass defensive backs. I mean, and really and truly, Williams, in my opinion, is faster than anybody on Alabama A&M's wide receiving core, in my opinion. And I see the comments. JSU's wide receivers weren't fully healthy in week 1. You didn't see a Malachi Wadman. Corbin wasn't the same. So I don't think FAMU saw that full level of wide receiving core. So for me, I think this wide receiving core will be the first complete, true explosive set of wide receivers that they've really faced. And you look back at that Alabama A&M game, and everyone just ignores it. They were getting smacked for 3.5 quarters.
Facts.
Until Alabama A&M started turning the ball over and things like that in the second half. So if you get down 14 points to Southeastern,
it's a wrap.
Box it up. You aren't coming back. Like, it's over. Like, I don't care if it starts 14-0.
This is why I agree more with what Strip said than what you said when it comes to the quarterback situation. The receivers, I put them about even. But your boy is mobile. That big boy is mobile, 6'7" and mobile, and that's the difference.
Yeah, you would never never see Akil Glass do a QB power. Never.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you would fire the offensive coordinator if he called that.
Exactly. It'll probably take him it take him 5 yards to get 1 yard just to get revved up, to get the yard. So
yeah, and the biggest fundamentals between Keel and Kelly is due to Kelly's size. His ability to stand in the face of a blitz better than Akil is just different. So even if you got there's multiple plays, yeah, I mean, there's multiple plays me and Scotty have on film where the safety's coming down straight in his face, but he's so much bigger, he can throw it up over the defender and it's not a problem. But there's some film with Akil where FAMU's defensive line gets in the backfield and it affects Akil's throwing motion. It affects his footwork and things like that. And that's where he was throwing his interceptions. I don't think you're going to get that with Kelly. And so for me, that's the difference in the offense.
Yeah, I was just thinking that was somebody just put on the bottom, Big Ben. That's why, as a watching the highlights of him, he like Big Ben.
Yeah. Hey, you got one more question, Coach Green? You good?
Nah, I'm good, man.
Hey, appreciate the call, Coach
Keep
Green.
up the good work, dude.
Hey, appreciate it.
All right.
You already know who called in. You already know I gotta go to the legend. What's up, Mr. Campbell? Talk to us.
All right, man. Let me go on my angry black man rant first. I'm gonna make it simple. But here's the thing, and Blue, you my guy, and I made sure I looked up because you made me think about this. I told y'all all of this was trickeration and how HBCUs get screwed. Now, Blue, off script, and everybody else said, oh, FAMU shouldn't even be in the playoffs. We were the last team. We were the 400 team. Now, I'm looking at the brackets. Based off of what everybody said, and I looked at everybody's strength of schedule and power rankings. We should have been up at playing Kennesaw State. How all of a sudden we move so far up where we're now going to play Southeastern and play James Madison? It makes no sense on how they rank it. It makes no sense.
That's not how the seeding works, Mr. Campbell. The first round seeding, the only teams that are seeded are the top 8 who get bye weeks. The other ones are determined by location. So Kennesaw being closer to their first round matchup than you guys is the reason why you're going to have to go to Louisiana, because the way they do it is they first look any school within, I think it's 400 or 500 miles of each other is automatically matched up, and then they expand from there. So Kennesaw being closer to their first round matchup than you guys is the only reason y'all aren't playing Kennesaw. And that's the reason y'all got pushed to Louisiana. Is because
I'm talking about no, because that's okay. Now hold on, you're missing my point. The seeding on that part, and then when you go into the seeds, that does matter. They are seeded from 1 through. So I understand it. So once again, we're only 4 hours away from Atlanta. So where's Davis at? North Carolina?
It's like right at the border, I believe.
Yeah.
So they're 4 hours too. So I don't want so okay, I'll let you have that. But I'm just saying we're 4 hours, they're 4 hours. Okay? So that's the first thing. So we're just as close. And to me, they're supposed to be a better team, which they should have went on down to Southeast, or they should have hosted the game if they did it. So that's my first thing. My first issue is. So now, with that being said, we would have had a better opportunity against Kennesaw because they run the triple option. Our speed matches up to that. I knew as soon as I saw that, I said, here's where we're going to have the problem. Now, my next issue is, how in the hell did Southeastern outbid FAMU? Now, let's do some quick math here. Southeastern holds 7,500 people. Our state holds 2,500. Even if they pack their stadium, they never pack their stadium. And we only put 15,000 people in there. It is no way our 80 is that dumb to underbid that bid. I'm not going for that. I'm sorry. I'm not going for that. The money works our way because we can put more people in our stadium just by.
But
all of a sudden, Southeastern outbid us. I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me.
The capacity of your stadium, the capacity of your stadium doesn't matter. I mean, Southeastern Louisiana got some mean boosters down there from the people I talked to, and like that'd be like saying because Jackson State has a 60,000 person stadium that how dare North Dakota State outbid them to host a playoff game? North Dakota State would outbid Jackson State 20 times out of 20 times.
No. Let me tell you what I mean by that. You're okay. So this goes back now. You're going to see now I set you up for my point about why you lose money in the FCS playoffs. Because here's my point. When you make your bid, because I went and called to find out, your bid is also going to be based off what the revenue you think you're going to generate also. Okay? So Southeast has already agreed in their mind, we're going to lose money. We just want to host the game, to your point. That's exactly what you're saying. FAMU is going to look at it from a financial situation. We can put X amount of bodies times this, we make that, it costs us X. That's how we did our bid. I know because I checked. So to your point, so they're taking that game to lose money. They're not going to make money. They're going to lose a lot of money. So that's fine. No problem on that. Now, let's get to this game. So here's the thing that I see this. I went and again, that's a good thing about it. I called my boy who is a regional scout. He scouts that whole Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. And this is the first thing that he said. You guys have played better receivers, but Southeastern Louisiana has a better scheme than anybody we played.
That's real.
He said the receivers, he said on their list, he said even in that conference, they have nothing but free agent grades on all the defense that they played, on all the players. Free agent grades. Not one draftable player. I'm looking at the report right now that he sent me. Unlike us, we got 6 players. So the thing about it is, it's about scheme. It's not about talent. We have the talent to beat them. The question is, do we have the scheme to beat them? That's what it's going to come down to. Because because like I said, my boy said, he said, man, that's how they ain't got no speed like FAMU got. Not even close. Not one defense have they played that have the speed that we have. And this comes from a regional scout that has went down there and seen all those teams. So the question is, what are we going to do scheme-wise? And I like what you guys have kind of talked about. I want us to be a little bit more creative. Blue, I like what you're saying. Let's move Savion in the middle. Let's sneak up. Let's bring some blitzes. Because, again, it's not about sacking this kid. It's about speeding him up. We got to speed him up. Because, again, we can't get in no shootout. If the game, again, the measuring stick, and what I mean about the score, is the Alabama A&M game. 35 points is max. We got to be in a 35-31 game.
Yeah.
That's the way we win that game. We got to turn him over. We got to put him on his back, and we got to run that ball. And if that's really Bishop Bonnet in this chat, he got to go for 100 yards. If he goes for 100 yards and McKay just beats game manager of the year, we can go down there and win that game. Because we're going to bring people. We're going to bring the energy. But we got to speed that kid up. And that's really the biggest thing, is speeding him up. Well, all of a sudden, you got Land coming on there. He's having a game. You're starting to block it. Because, like I said to you guys' point, they're not going to run the ball. We already know what they're doing. And their offense is sideline to sideline. Scotty, you said that.
Yeah.
It's sideline to sideline. It's not a vertical offense, which is weird, you would think. But that's not what it is. It's sideline to sideline. Again, I'm looking at the scouting report right now.
This is what I would say.
So right? I like what you go ahead.
This is what I say, Mr. Campbell, when it comes to the scouting report, which I'm not doubting. That's his job. He does it very well. My thing is this, right? It's the Tyson Everybody's a dog until you get punched in the mouth, right? That's like it all undraftable, not draft. We got draft people. Listen, if things start going wrong, heads can start to drop and confidence starts to falter. And it only takes a couple plays in football. If it didn't go your way, somebody gets you off the line, you get burnt. He starts talking trash. I get the drafts, I get all that, but to me, at the end of the day, it's what happens on the field, and this is where I say it separates. And you're absolutely right. It's the scheme. Coaching in the SWAC is atrocious. I can't say that enough. Coaching in the SWAC is atrocious. So having a great offensive mind. I'm not saying the Southeast Louisiana guy is a great offensive mind. I'm just saying if he can make adjustments to what you guys do, it could be problematic. But I would say this: the great thing about Southeast Louisiana, and it kind of goes to FAMU's favor, they don't do a lot of motion from 20 to 20. From 20 to 20, you don't see a lot of motion. It's a lineup. We do what we do, and we're gonna set you up like that. Now, when they get to the red zone, you see motion. You see guys coming in because they want you to think like, "Oh, is the power coming? Is the sideway coming?" They don't do a lot of motion. Like, and when I mean a lot of motion, I mean like Alabama A&M motion. Like they don't do a ton of it like Alabama A&M would do when they move people in, out, and everything like that. So I just think this is going to be a lot of a schematic. Like we're trying to isolate a certain player, and I think they're going to try to isolate your linebackers a lot than people realize.
Well, let me ask you this question, because here's the thing that I have not heard about. Their defense is atrocious.
It is, and Blue.
So what is their defense going to do? So let me ask you. Okay, let me give you a scenario. Their defense, I think I looked at 104th.
Yeah.
Out of all the teams, so they don't stop anybody. So let's play that. If the averages are the averages, right?
Yeah.
To your point, and we start running that ball and pounding it, they can't stop a Coles. And we start getting that game going. We start shortening that game up. Then what?
That's the game. That's the recipe for success.
That's the strategy. I mean, I don't think anyone said anything different than that.
That's the recipe for success. If you listen, you want this game to look like Southern and Jackson State, where you look up, it's the third quarter and it's 10-10. That's what you want it to look like, or it's 17-7, y'all. Like that's what you want this game to look like, because you don't want it to get out of hand because your offense is not built to come back. You're not built that way, right? So no,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if they up 17-10, that's not bad. You run the ball, just don't panic. You need Coach Willie Simmons and Coach KJ to not panic and not go away from what works, because you're looking at it like this. If it's 17-10 going to the third quarter, I'm happy. If in that Southeast Louisiana, I'm happy. I'm okay with that. And it's the same mindset it's the same mindset you have with Jackson State on defense that you're going to have with Southeast Louisiana. Look, man, listen. If we keep them at 17.5, that means, average-wise, that means it's 34 points. All right? That means if they score 17 is 34 points. We're in this game. We can do this. Let's keep the game plan. Let's run the rock. And then you're just going to tell your defense, listen, we just need one stop. We need one stop. So that's how you want to keep this game. You can't have Coach KJ and Willie Simmons panic and start putting the game in Rashad McKay's hands unless they see something that works. Now, if they see X is killing these Bamas, you be like, hey, bro, we about to work X. But because they don't have the D-line to really speed Rashawn up, but they will blitz you. So it all depends on how the game goes. And I think adjustments are going to be the huge factor in this.
Yeah, and
let me say one last thing. Go ahead, Blue. I thought you were about to say something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The one thing for me with FAMU that scares me is the slow starts. You played a defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed, and Alabama A&M couldn't get nothing going in the first half. You played a defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed in Bethune, only 13 points in the first half. You've played bad defenses before, and the offense still was slow. If you get off to a slow start this weekend, it's going to be like 28-0. Bad if you get slow starts and your defense is out there for over half of the first half. That's the type of problems that you're going to have, because they're going to put pressure on your defense to make plays every single play. There's not a single corner on the field that can miss his assignment. And if your offense gets off to a slow start, it's going to too pressure all, because if you get behind, then guess what? Bishop Bonnet can't run the ball.
Facts.
Because now you got to put it in McKay's hands, and I don't care how bad the defense is. I don't trust McKay to throw for 350.
No, I totally agree. So my last thing, and then I'm gonna get off. You guys doing a great job, but I think we all admit this is the best FAMU's best Rashawn McKay has played, and that bodes well because I can finally tell he's got a grasp of what they're trying to do with the offense. Because that was the one thing that we criticized him all at the early part of the year. But again, to your point, he's not going to throw for 350 yards in this game. That's not what he's going to do. But if he controls his offense like he's done the last 3 games, we can get to 30 points. We get to 30 points, then we got a shot.
Yeah,
that's all we got.
I agree with that.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. Love it. Love what you guys are doing.
All right. Man, listen, I don't mind. And Blue, tell me if you mind this stat line. I don't mind a 175, 200-yard passing game with 1 touchdown with maybe a 250 run, just a total of 250 rush yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns, something around there. You know what I'm saying? With, all the running backs they have, I think that's a great game plan for FAMU.
I completely agree with that. I mean, you got to at least run for 200. 200 is the goal. You
Yeah.
got to get 200 on the ground.
Yeah. I'm going to take this caller. What's up, Coach Harp? Talk to me.
How you doing, Scotty?
What's good? Turn your background down for me.
All right, I got you. So my take on the game is it's all about the D-line. My homeboy Milton Patterson, he's a D-line coach over there at FAMU. And just like you and Blue stated, they run the ball in creative ways with gap scheme run plays with receivers or the quarterback, or they just throw the ball on a level 1 route or behind the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
So if the D-line can stop them gap scheme counter plays and they can rally to the ball, because, you don't want to run up on them level 1 routes, so they go right behind you.
Yep.
And just rally to the ball and group tackle, they have a great chance of success. Mainly if they can get the FCS sack leader one-on-one, you got to wear one of them tackles out.
That's fair. Let me ask you this: like, how would you? I know you're offensive line guy, but how would you defend the air raid scheme that they do? Are you playing it over the top, or are you just playing everything short?
Well, you want to set your defense so they can't get behind you, and you can rally on everything in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it the opposite way, they'll throw them 50-50 balls, and those receivers, I think, will outdo the FAMU cornerbacks. I think they should have some type of defense where they're funneling and everything to Marquise Bell, and he can roam the middle of the field. The linebackers obviously need to bump out so they can apex those routes between number 2 and 3 and rally to the ball. That means the D-line and the one linebacker that's in the box got to take care of any run plays by the quarterback, receivers, etc.
Okay, you got any questions, Blue, or comments?
No, I'm good.
All right, the last thing, Coach, before I let you go, my thing is this, right? So, what does FAMU defensively have to do to win this game? Because me and Blue, we talked offline, and I to me, if Savion is not at the D tackle position with General Hunt, I feel like it's ridiculous. It's the stupid, because he's your best power player. He's your best power rusher. And having him as a DN, I don't think is the best bet unless you're trying to set the edge. And you get like if you're not trying to, Isaiah's more of a I'll beat you around and kind of bend. I think if you put Savion at the DN position, you're looking to collapse it and not have him bend. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you. So what I would do is I'll bring a linebacker in. I will put Savion at a 3 technique, put a 0 nose, and have like another 3 technique at a guard, center guard, covered up. So that way they can't pull on me. Have Isaiah on one end and another linebacker on the other end. It's going to look like a 5 down, but it's basically a 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
And with 2 linebackers and have that linebacker and Isaiah, their job is just to get upfield and rush the passer, because with Southeastern Louisiana's offense, this is like Luke Skywalker shooting down the first Death Star. He need the Force. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a new one. Hey, Coach. Hey, thanks for the call.
I mean,
Coach.
they average like 45 points a game.
Yeah, 45 to 48. Yeah, no, you're right. It's 45 to 48. So yeah, that's crazy. Hey, appreciate the call, Coach. I knew you was gonna bring me with the X and O's. Appreciate it.
You have a great.
Oh, that boy said a Death Star. That was a new one. Hey, Mr. Ford, talk to us.
Hey,
Turn your
This is a great show.
Hey, turn your background down for us.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is a great show. I'm just going to say it like this, and I know a lot of people are going to get upset about it, but this is a high school quarterback going against an NFL quarterback. And your last caller hit it on the line. What you got to play against Cole Kelly is basically what those Steelers do. You got to play him with 2 stand-up defensive ends and 2 nose guards. Now, you're talking about that kid, Savion, that transferred from the University of Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
I would have him on the inside.
Yeah.
Because with this kid, see, this Cole Kelly kid is not just athletically good. He's smart. He knows the game. I watched him the other night. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If that I done already said this to you. The only way FAMU can beat these people, they got to keep this guy on the sideline. They can't stop this guy.
Mm-hmm.
They got to we got to run that ball and keep him on the sideline. But what I was going to tell you is, with him, you got to have 5 and 6 DBs in the game. Ain't no way to get around it. But the main thing is, up front, you got to confuse him. Whatever he sees,
yes,
that can't be the defense. Because if he figures out your defense, you through.
Yep.
Because I watched him. You through. So what you got to do is, if you bring up 8 people, bring up 8, drop back 4 or 5, but don't ever let him know what you're doing.
Facts.
Okay. And my last point is this, guys. I hate to say this, but that kid McKay is not a playmaker. He is not a playmaker. He's I guess you would call him a game manager. And that's what I'm telling you. The main thing is, just don't put the game on him. Fam's only chance is that offensive line can control the line of scrimmage the whole game. Listen, but let me tell you this, Scotty. I just got to make this last point. I was so upset this week. Listen, they just announced the game. It's going to be in September 2022, and it's going to be at the Giant Stadium up in the Meadowlands, Met Stadium. It's going to be Howard University versus Morehouse. That's the stupidest shit they could have done. What the hell you put Morehouse in a big game like that? They don't give a damn about football. If they announce at Morehouse tomorrow that they cutting out football, ain't nobody at Morehouse going to say nothing. You had a chance to bring in Jackson State, Florida A&M, Southern University, Grambling, and you go and get Morehouse to play against Howard. That's a missed opportunity. That was awful. And I want to say to whoever set that game up, you did the wrong thing. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Oh, man, he is hot, boy. That boy hot as fish grease. He said that.
I need Mr. Ford versus Mr. Campbell on Rashawn McKay. I need that Wild Out Wednesday ASAP.
Yo, that would be funny. But listen, and it's funny he said that, Blue, because remember, I called you right before we got on. I said, you would have to zone. I said he's a pre-snap read guy. You have to change it up. And there's a couple I couldn't find the play anymore that I saw, but you have to zone blitz him, right? Like you can't just line up and be like, oh, if you go downset hut and then they show, you got to get out of it. Okay. You got to get out of it. It's just that simple. You got to zone blitz it. You got to do, I don't want to say that old Ravens chaos defense, when everybody's moving. I think that's a little too much, but you definitely have to change it. You got to bring it it got to look like it's coming from one side and it's actually coming from the other side and you're dropping on the other. It has to be a lot of that going on and but he's a great pre-snap read guy. But you got to definitely, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mr. Ford. Got to change it up. Got to change it up. Next caller. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to us. 0024, you live. Talk to us. All righty. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to us.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Listen, this is Vince calling from Jackson.
What's up?
Hey, listen, man. If FAMU don't bring their band, man. If FAMU don't bring the band, they gonna lose this game, man. If the band don't show up, everybody want to know if the band's gonna show up. It's like going to church on Sunday, right? If the choir don't show up, everybody ain't coming to church. So if they don't bring the band, it's enough show, man. So they gotta have that band, man. That's the what's it called? Without the band, that's like kryptonite. So hopefully the band come. Hopefully the band come, man. Please, man, come. All right, man.
Oh,
Take
man.
care.
Hey, appreciate the call, Vince. Boy, you stupid. Appreciate the call. They got to play on time God, too, if they come. They got to play on time God. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to us.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Dude, did FAMU draw Southeastern Louisiana because they were like a last one in, and therefore they had to just play a tougher seed? And I guess a second on that is that, do you see, are there other teams in the playoff that FAMU would stack up better against than, say, Southeastern Louisiana?
All right, go ahead. Take it, Blue. I know you want it.
No. Listen, I don't know where like this is coming from. Any FCS person could tell you the only teams that are seeded are the top 8 seeds. They're seeded and they like put like the different brackets together. They seed the top 8 teams, and then everything else is geographically determined. It's proximity to your opponent. And all it is that Kennesaw was close to both FAMU and Davidson, but Davidson was just a bit closer, so they put Davidson. Then also the secondary judges, those 2 schools closer to the next school. So if they win, who do they go and play? And since Kennesaw is closer to ETSU than it is James Madison, they got placed in that bracket. It's all proximity. There's no conspiracy theories, guys. Like, I'm sorry, like there's I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to like
with the NCAA, like it's always a 1 versus a 16. And I'm just thinking, just theoretically, like a 16 probably can't beat a 1, but was there somebody else in there that a 16 could beat? I'm just thinking theoretically, looking at all the different things that FAMU and the SWAC can take away from this game, regardless of a win or a loss in this first round.
I mean, for me, I was asked on, like, I was on the Intel podcast this week, and I was asked about it, about what, like, 1, what this means for the SWAC, and 2, like, who else FAMU would want to play. I do think they would match up with Kennesaw very well in terms of the defense versus Kennesaw's offense. The problem would be Kennesaw's defense is legit. It's no Southland defense. They would have eaten against FAMU's offense. Rashawn McKay wouldn't know what to do with Kennesaw's defense. And so it would have been probably a better matchup if you're looking just FAMU defense versus Kennesaw offense. But the other way around, a terrible matchup, because Kennesaw is not going to let you run the ball, and Rashawn McKay was going to have to throw, and that's a recipe for disaster. So I really think Southeastern Louisiana is not a bad matchup. Your weakness is gonna your weakness, which is the offense, is gonna have an easier time this weekend moving the ball. FAMU should be able to score 30 with ease this weekend. That's a good thing. And then your defense is your strength going up against their strength, so you can probably slow it down. I think it's a better matchup for this game than even Kennesaw. I think Kennesaw would have been brutal. I'm talking about that would have been a brutally tough game for FAMU. But just looking at all the first round teams, I mean, they would never play, but I mean, if you drew like a Holy Cross or someone like that, like you probably would have just destroyed them. But, they're nowhere near each other, so it would never happen. But in terms of Southern teams, I think you got the best stylistic matchup for your team, and you have a chance to win. I've said repeatedly, I know everyone in the comments are like, you and Scotty are making it seem like there's no chance. Like we've both said, I think FAMU absolutely can win this game if they play their best game. I think when you look deeper into it, this was the best matchup that they could have gotten the first round. If they got Davidson, I think they would have beat Davidson as well. But Kennesaw, I really don't think I don't think FAMU wants. It might be a home game. I don't think FAMU wanted Kennesaw in that matchup, because I think Kennesaw probably would have beat FAMU.
No, I mean, I agree. I think that it's a step. Like you're taking a first step, and whatever they do, for me, as long as it's a good showing for FAMU, and I'm a J-State fan, but I just want FAMU to put up a good showing. I think it's a first step, and and so win, lose, or whatever, I just think that if FAMU puts up a good step in this game, and then do take that advice as far as scheduling more FCS games, then I think it'll be better next time getting more teams into play. Although I do want to end on one final question. For recruiting, do you think it's better for the HBCU teams as far as recruiting to take the $1 million for the bowl games or to try to play in the playoffs, even though they lose more money? Which do you think is better for recruiting?
I think. Go ahead,
Go
Blue.
ahead.
Hey, no, you're recruiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so if we can look at it in a vacuum, I'll say that because I know some people in the comments are gonna be like, you can't separate them in a vacuum. For recruiting, it's better to play in the playoffs. Let's just be honest, because I mean, let's just be honest. All of us on this phone call and in the chat, the goal of the SWAC is to be able to recruit with the group of five. Like you want to recruit nationally.
Mhm.
How do you go into someone's living room and say, you know what you're going to compete for? The first bowl game of the year on December 18th on a Sunday where a few million people watch, but you just get a good congratulations and $1 million that you don't even get a the players don't get it, and it's split between the conference. So like I don't think that's a great recruiting tactic when other schools can be like, yeah, I'm offering you like it. So like you're competing with, let's say, North Dakota State for a kid. They can say, look at all my damn trophy. I had to buy 2 trophy cases because I won so many in just the past 8 years. And you're saying like, oh yeah, like, we won the Celebration Bowl. I think in terms of recruiting, if you want it to expand, I think the national championship's better. People are going to disagree with me. That's fine. We're going to find out eventually. But in terms of financial, I think the Celebration Bowl makes sense for some of these schools. And I agree. And I've stepped off that hill. That's not the hill that you're going to find my body on dead, because that's to the level it's gotten just dumb how passionate, that is. But, I stepped off that hill. But for me, I still think the national championship in terms of this, where if you can't get to the Celebration Bowl, why not get a recruiting boost going to the playoffs? And for me, you look at all these schools that have built their programs up by making deep runs. Yes, maybe financially it needs to improve. But I've also been on record, as many people in here want to vouch me, including Scotty. I've said the NCAA is the biggest, excuse my language, piece of shit in the world. They got to get away from the NCAA, and there's things that have to be fixed. But I still don't think it's a black and white argument like a lot of people want to make it. And I think they're not looking at all aspects of it, and everyone's looking at it in their own vacuum. And instead of debating it and trying to find the middle ground, everyone's just pointing their guns at each other and saying, like, if you're not on the Celebration Bowl side, I don't rock with you. And if you're not on the playoff side, I don't rock with you. And like, it's not a black and white issue. And I think that's the problem. And it's never going to expand or get better until everyone can come together and we find like some equal footing on both sides. Because I think both sides have their benefit. And I agree with Dion and some people that there need to be just more bowl games for people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. There needs to be more than just a Celebration Bowl. There needs to be, get a sponsor for this bowl and have the team in the SoCon, like a Mercer, who was right on the cusp of making it, play a Prairie View, who won't get to go to the Celebration Bowl if they lose to Jackson State. So for me, I think that's a better solution. But for me, the NCAA is garbage, and until college football pulls away, I think there's not ever going to be a clear answer on what to do.
Hey, appreciate the call, my boy. Hey, so I gotta, man, listen. This has to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Chase, you have the number one clues who have the playoffs. Cause they have Deion Sanders, dumbass. Like, what are you talking about? Shut your dumb ass up. Like, JSC has the number one recruit. Shut up, man. Sit your dumb ass down. So the man was just be saying stuff, and y'all think I peeped that. I peeped it. Sit your dumb ass down. And then this, Blue, you're wrong because North Carolina. Compared to what though? This is what I see. You're saying the recruiting went up. Compared to who? What are you comparing it to? In the SWAC? Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, you got the best recruiting class in the SWAC. Congratulations. All right. Ooh, yay. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Hey, look, what's up?
What's good, Ryan?
Cool, man. This really for Blue, man. I just had paying attention, like really was the numbers and stuff. So I'm just trying to get educated as far as the playoffs. Do teams really make money off the playoffs? I'm asking.
I mean, so the James Madison example was a little bit different. I talked to some sources, and they were overbidding their price to host games. So some teams really believe in that home field advantage, and there were some other financial decisions that played into the part, and it was also travel, and it also depends on in terms of like let's say second or third round. The year where it's like a James Madison versus like a Jacksonville State, the travel costs are going to be way less, and the financial burden on you is going to be way less because all those teams in your area of the country are doing well. But let's say in Eastern Washington this year makes a big run for it.
I'm saying,
go ahead.
I'm asking bottom line, like it's teams. So like James Madison. This reason I asked is I was listening to Inside HBCU and Dr. Bill and them. They was pretty much saying that like teams like James Madison and even the teams who are actually winning, like Sam Houston, they're actually leaving the FCS, the playoffs. They don't give a damn about the playoffs. They're going to the FBS where they're not going to play for a national championship. They're not going to be one of the 4 or 12 playoff teams whenever they expand. But they're moving up to try to get some bowl, try to play for bowls and stuff. Pretty much what the SWAC and the MEAC is doing now. And from my understanding now, I was gathering that if those teams had an opportunity to play for a bowl, they would say screw the playoffs too and play for a bowl like a Heritage Bowl, before it became a Celebration Bowl. They would say screw the playoffs and actually play for a bowl game because it's more money. It's beneficial. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's about money. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, it absolutely is.
Is that the reason why James Madison and Jacksonville State and those teams are leaving? To your knowledge?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it absolutely is better financially to play in the FBS. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue that. I mean, if Jackson State right now could go play in the FBS, what would the potential earnings be in the Sun Belt if they won the Sun Belt one year and got to go play in some big bowl game at the FBS level? That's a no-brainer. And I've been the first person, even though I get no credit for it, to say that the playoffs need to be reevaluated. I think they need to be taken down a notch. I think the 2014, when it expanded, it increased the financial burning on a lot of these universities by letting so many teams in. I understand they want everyone to have a chance, and diehard FCS fans, I'm just going to let you know, are going to die on that hill similar to SWAC fans with the Celebration Bowl. If you mention shortening the playoffs and creating bowl games, they're going to have a riot. I'm just going to let you know, because they feel like that's what makes the FCS the FCS. But financially, for me, I think shortening the playoffs, making it a 12-team playoff, and then having bowl games for like the 13 through like 30 to 34 teams would be more profitable because you could get sponsors. You could do different bowl. It could be like the mini FBS, and that would be way more profitable. I agree. Financially, it might not make sense for everyone to go play in the FCS playoffs, and that's why I've kind of changed my tune on this as we go. But just because it's not perfect doesn't mean we should stop striving to make it better. And for me, it depends, and I've said this repeatedly, and just I don't know if anyone hasn't heard me, but if you financially it doesn't make sense for you to go to playoffs, fine. Do whatever else you want to do. Opt out of the playoffs, go to the Celebration Bowl, whatever you want to do. But if your long-term goal is to become an FBS or an NFL pipeline, if your goal is to be a powerhouse at the FCS level, well, then your end goal conflicts with the financial aspect. So are you more concerned about making money, or are you more concerned with the end goal of expanding your reach, your exposure, and being the king of the FCS? Because I promise you, if you want to flip it, if the Missouri Valley Conference had a Celebration Bowl and every year the Missouri Valley Conference played the Big Sky in just some random bowl game, do you think the mystique surrounding a North Dakota State would be the same as it is for them winning 8 out of 10 national titles over the past 10 years?
Yeah, see, I agree with you. Like I say, like I said, I'm just learning more about this stuff as we go, man. I agree with Scotty too, man. I think as far as HBCUs and as far as expanding their reach, they definitely. And my thing is in regular season play, I think SWAC teams should play like the big dogs in FCS, conferences. Like, Jackson State should play a Sam Houston, during the regular season. But I do think like when it is about money at the end of the day, so they should take the opportunity to play in the moneymaker at the end of the season, like a Celebration Bowl. But that doesn't dismiss them from playing tough competition in FCS during the season. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I mean, I think there's a lot of, and you know, shout out to Coach Simmons, shout out to Scotty and everyone else, you know, and I've said this before too with the playoffs, that it's a long-term game. Yes, you might lose money the first year, but overall you're going to gain things in the long run. But we'll leave it at that. But in terms of playing tougher out of conference games, this idea that nobody cares is just not true, because the problem is, and I talked about this on the Intel podcast, is the SWAC and the FCS, for some reason, they're almost like against each other. Like the SWAC is part of the FCS, and what I want to see more is people in the SWAC take leadership roles in the FCS and become voices to expand. That way the entire FCS can grow. If you're having the MEAC and the SWAC and the FCS all fight each other, you're never going to grow anywhere, and you're never going to improve, and then you're never going to have a voice in the matters that impact the FCS as a whole. And so for me, instead of being this adversarial relationship that we see now with the SWAC and MEAC against the FCS, due to some excuse my language, against some fucked up history, but I feel like slowly but surely there's going to be opportunities to change that. The SWAC and the MEAC have to establish themselves as influencers in the FCS at some point. That way, you can stop being a good old boys club. That way, all these, there's no reason that SWAC fans shouldn't know anything about the FCS playoffs, or how. I mean, there were SWAC fans that didn't even know how the damn conference championship worked. Right. Coming into the year, like, how is that even possible? I don't understand. I really don't understand. And so for me, I really want to see the FCS grow. I want to see the SWAC grow. And right now, I just feel like them having an adversarial relationship is really limiting both the SWAC and the FCS, because I've talked to North Dakota State fans. I've talked to Sam Houston fans. I've talked to these other fans as I'm involved in the FCS community, and they really do like SWAC football. And every single one I've talked to said they wish you guys were in the playoffs. And every single one of them thinks that. I've talked to a North Dakota State fan that thinks Jackson State could make the semifinals this year if they got into the playoffs. Like, this idea that they're avoiding the SWAC, like, these people want the SWAC to join, and I just think there has to be changes made, man. And I don't know how they're the MH. I don't know without subscribers. I probably don't even. I can't reach the commissioner of the FCS, but I feel like conversations like this need to happen, because, and as Scotty's mentioned on his channel, staying stagnant isn't an option. It might be tough. You might have to have tough conversations. You might have to make a move you don't like, but you have to eventually make a move for the better, or you're just going to be stuck in the same old spot for the end of time, and that's not going to be good for the SWAC or the FCS.
Facts. Hey, appreciate the call, Ryan.
Hey, Scott. Hey, hold on, Scott. I got one question for you, though, for real.
What's up?
Hey, look, man, when you went to Jackson, I'm going to the game next week. You got a reserve seat, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what's so special about it? You get extra leg room or something?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to sit with the general. Okay, so general admission, there is no assigned seat, so it's first come, first serve. A reserve seat is your seat. So if you get there late,
it is worth the extra $15.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely worth it. Oh, make sure you pay for it, because you might be in the nosebleed all the way at the top, because people just stand in line and it's all first come, first serve in general admission.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
No problem, man. Peace.
Hang on real quick. Owen, please listen to what I'm saying sometimes, man. Like, I don't know if y'all just stuff y'all's ears with stuff. The first thing I said in the conversation is that the fucking FCS should go away from the NCAA. Nobody's on that board, bro. Like, what are y'all listening to? Turn your headphones up, man, and stop just putting just dumb comments in here. Jesus Christ.
That's what they about. Hey, listen, guys, we're not trying to have novels. All right. We got people calling in now. All right. So keep it short and sweet. All right. Keep it short and sweet. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, Script, this is Wilson.
What's up?
Hey, just one comment and one question, man. Hey, congrats to FAMU or whatnot, but close don't count. We need FAMU to carry this water. FAMU got to win this weekend. We don't need a close game. We don't need a good showing. FAMU has to go in and play their brand of football, and we need them to win. But on that point, with a bunch of talk about the matchups and whatnot, typically what I see from, SWAC or MEAC teams when they make it into the playoffs, size is really what winds up getting us about mid third quarter to the fourth quarter. We're already talking about Lamb being kind of undersized.
Mm-hmm.
We got speed, but do you think we got enough size to actually be effective in the mid third quarter, fourth quarter when it counts? Because if that kid gets third and short, or he gets in the red zone, you already know.
QB power.
He's be hard to stop on the QB.
Yeah.
So what do you think they got enough size and speed? We got skill position, but we have size where it matters.
No, I think you do. I definitely think you do. Yeah, I know. Because I've seen Isaiah Land up close and personal. He's a tall, thin man. You know what I'm saying? So I it is what it is. But I definitely do think FAMU has the right size at the right places, and it helps that both your safeties are over 6'2". All right, it definitely helps that both your safeties are over 6'2", and they can play the ball really well in the air. So I think this is like Blue said earlier, this is a very winnable game. If they was playing Kennesaw State, I'd be like, it's game over, bro. It's game over. Y'all don't have a chance. I don't give a damn. We're gonna pack it up. You're gonna pack it out, and you're gonna get your ass beat, and you're gonna send your ass back to Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad about this game. I think this matchup works really, really well for FAMU, and I agree with you got on, Blue.
I mean, listen, Gentle Hunt and Savion are not small in this. Those are some dudes. Savion's giant, and he's got real size that can make problems happen in the backfield. So for me, I think they absolutely have the size on the D line to make some moves. I mean, Isaiah Land's really their only, I would say, really undersized D lineman, but Savion and the rest of them, Gentle Hunt's a monster. Let's just put it like that. So I mean, I don't think there's any question that they have the size on the D line to make an impact this weekend.
Okay.
Hey, appreciate the comments, Wilson. No problem.
All right.
Hey, David, what's up? Keep it short and sweet, baby. Short and sweet.
Okay, now I was just gonna say, man, the way FAMU, like y'all been saying, the way FAMU gonna play, they winning. I think they just limit the possessions that Southeast Louisiana would take offensively. It's basically you keep him on the sideline. Keep him on the sideline and keep their defense on there. And basically, just, run the ball like you want to run the ball to increase your time of possession and, to keep the ball and also to keep the ball out of McKay's hands like that. Because you don't want him to be able to, you got to win his game for us.
That's fair.
And also the defense plays solid. I play a dime package defense, have 4 or 5 rush, and then everybody just going to coverage. Hey, Blue, I got a question.
Yeah, man.
Hey, so Southeast Louisiana and UIW basically kind of had it an easy way as far as with the competing in the contest. They don't have big back, Sam Houston. Do you think that kind of watered it down? That the Southland Conference, they don't have Sam Houston and SFA and all those boys in there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is probably the weakest the Southland's been in probably 2-3 years. I mean, they got lucky because Nichols wasn't bad, and Incarnate Word had one of their best seasons in a long time. I mean, listen, that team is legit. Cameron Ward is a monster at quarterback, so I don't want to hear anyone say Incarnate Word is not a good team.
I like Cameron Ward. He's a gunslinger, and Cole Kelly is a gunslinger too. But to me, I feel like Sam can actually beat Southeast Louisiana. I feel like the 2 games that Southeast had lost, I would go look at the defense that the other team was running.
Nah, because they were shootouts, and that's not the kind of game. They were shoot. Listen, if you're a Carnate Word or a Nicholas, and you beat these guys, you beat them in a shootout. Okay, you didn't beat them like it wasn't 20-45. It was like 45-48. 35-32. Okay. So it's not like, so you're saying, play a right defense. No, you still got to stop them. It's just, you got to stop and you got to score. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
you got to, I mean, I'm stopping them, but your best defense, because to me, your best defense is your offense. And what I'm saying, like, that is basically, as far as with FAMU goes, your running game is your best defense. You want to keep them on the sideline.
Facts.
As long as you can, keep them on the sideline.
Hey, appreciate the call, my boy. Let me see. Who do I want to go to? I've never seen this number before. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, bro? I was listening.
What's your name? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Guys are saying. Rodney calling from Texas.
All right, appreciate the call.
Yeah, I'm from UAPB, so I'm a Golden Lion, man. But I was calling in because I heard you guys talking about the recruiting and the playoffs and the Celebration Bowl. And I just recently had a conversation with a couple of HBCU grads that played ball about this a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it. And from my perspective, and I want to know what you guys think, you go into a recruit house and you tell them, hey, we don't have automatic bid into the playoffs. But if you make the SWAC championship game, you play on ESPN2 on a weekend where there are only like 6 games played. So you're going to be one of the 6 games. So you're going to get, I looked at the ratings. I think they said the ratings was about 1.5 million on ESPN. And then on December 18th, you play in one of the first bowls, true enough, but it's on a day where there's only one other bowl game. So I think those ratings are about 1.8 to 2 million. So if you make it to the SWAC championship and to the Celebration Bowl, you win the SWAC championship, you win the Celebration Bowl, which is the HBCU national championship, and you're going to get to play on national TV twice in a row. I think that's just as impactful as making it to the playoffs. And say for somebody like South Dakota State or North Dakota State, whatever it is, yeah, those guys have a good recruiting pitch because they actually win national championships.
Can I stop you?
But for the teams that make it to the first round and lose out, how does that compare to
can I stop you?
Playing those 2 national televised games in the SWAC?
Can I stop you?
That's my question.
Can I stop you?
I'll listen to you.
Yeah, no. Stay on. All right, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're a Golden Lion, right?
Yes, sir.
If UAPB walked into if I had a son and UAPB walked into my son's room tomorrow and said, "Hey, you have a chance to play at the SWAC champion," I said, "Who? At UAPB? No, the hell I don't. Valley? No, the hell I don't. Southern? Maybe. PV? Maybe. I don't know if you're gonna run it back. Like, there's only a few teams that are."
But you're not going to play in the playoffs either with those same 2 teams.
So
you can't use that pitch either.
No, wait. I'm gonna give you my perspective, right? So if that's the only thing you got going for yourself, right? So now it goes back to the experience. Now the time I'm at. Now you're talking about recruiting, facilities, experience. That's where you're going to win at with some of these black players. But you telling it's too. Listen. It's Jackson State, FAMU, and everybody else. Like, that's literally what it is in the SWAC. So if it's not one of those 2 schools coming and knock at my door, like, you talking about some SWAC celebration, I might as well take my ass to the MEAC. I got a better chance over there because you never know who might come out on the MEAC. I might go to Delaware State tomorrow and they might become, or Norfolk State next year, and they might win the MEAC and no championship game, and I walk right in the Celebration Bowl. So my thing is this, right? I'm not saying first round losses mean that much. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, schools who don't play in the SWAC championship don't mean that much. But at the core of it, everybody can't be winners. So now at the end of the day, now you're talking about experiences, and now you're talking about, you know, do you want to play in front of people that look like you, or you want to play in front of white people? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to talk to someone? You want to holler at the black girls, or you want to holler at some white girls? Like, that's what you're getting down to the nitty gritty, because everybody ain't gonna be winners. That's just facts. Everybody can't.
No, I agree. I agree with you there. I was just using the example that you guys were basing it off of. You were talking about basically the pitch part of SWAC championship Celebration Bowl versus playoffs. And so that's why I narrowed it to that. But you're right. At the end of the day, it's going to have to be about facilities. It's going to have to be about, school experience and things like that. When it comes to, and don't shit too much on UAPB, because we've made 4 SWAC championships in like the last 10 years. So we're not that bad. We ain't great, but we're
Boy, y'all in straight, man. Listen, the only person that's not in the portal right now is the team manager. That's the only person not in the transfer portal right now. Everybody else done dipped on y'all.
Yeah, we did have a bunch of people jumping the transfer portal. But yeah, man, like your show, man, I just started listening.
a few weeks ago looking for the Jackson State game. And man, you're dope, man. I'm surprised that no one has called you to try to allow you to become the official SWAC podcast. I mean, it only makes sense.
They don't like how I package
it. Only
it.
Makes sense.
They don't like how I package this up. They probably don't. They probably watch it, but they don't. They like, man, I can't stand that little nigga. But
but thanks, man. Appreciate
hey, no problem. Appreciate you.
All right.
I'm just keeping it on it. Let me see. Sorry, Mr. Campbell. I know I'm not supposed to say the N-word. My bad. That's on me. My fault. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Off script was good, brother, man.
What's good, man? Talk to me.
This is JB calling out of H-Town, Houston, Texas. I'm the one that just posted the stat there about the last regular fall season FCS title game, 2.7 million viewers, celebration of 1.9 million viewers. And the significance of this is that both games were actually on ABC. So for some people who are talking about that it doesn't matter what networks is on, network coverage does make a difference. And let me also say something about this too. I think that this conversation is important. I think that for the first time, we in the SWAC are actually being forced to talk about the NCAA postseason and actually doing more than just winning a conference championship and more than just playing in a bowl game. Whether people want to accept it or not, who you play matters. And in terms of playing with FAMU, I think FAMU has an excellent shot of winning this matchup. I think this is the best matchup FAMU could have had because their best strength is their secondary. And playing against Kennesaw State with the kind of offense they run is going to nullify that secondary strength. So I think this is the best matchup FAMU could have gotten. Now, a question I have for both of you guys here, and this is one that I've actually posted in a group chat I was in earlier. What do you think HBCU, I guess, like the fan base is a little more, I don't want to say concerned about, but pay more attention to? A potential big FAMU loss, which is going to say that, hey, you know what, FAMU should have been there anyway because of SWAC, blah, blah, blah. Or FAMU pulls off the upset and beats Southeast Louisiana, which actually means the rest of the SWAC has to step their game up and do more than just play for a conference championship and play for a bowl game. Basically, it's the rest of the conference willing and able to do what needs to be done to put a nationally competitive product in the FCS out there.
Hey, appreciate the call. We're going to answer it and you just listening. I appreciate it. Blue, that's a hell of a question, bro. That's a hell of a question.
I'll let you take it. I'll think on that one.
Yeah, let me jump on this one, right? So he said, what's the headline going to be, right? What's the bigger headline? Is, FAMU steps up and they lose, or pretty much FAMU steps up and they win? And you know what I'm saying? If FAMU wins, right, ADs are going to have to start looking at themselves in the mirror and say, hey, we can't compete. We need to go schedule these guys to make our bid to the playoffs look a lot better, right? Because now you're saying we can compete. We won if it's by 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, whatever you won. All right. If it's by half a point, you won. So I think a lot of ADs are going to have to start looking themselves in the mirror and saying, hey, we have a chance to compete. We can go with these boys. We can go toe to toe with FCS. Because mind you are in the FCS, like Blue said. Stop acting like you're not. Stop calling yourself the SWAC. You're in the FCS. Okay. We know you're a conference you're in, but you're in the FCS. All right. So I think that's one. If FAMU loses, and it depends on how they lose. If they lose by 2 touchdowns or more, y'all are playing Pop Warner football over there. I'm sorry. If you lose by more than 2 touchdowns, you're playing Pop Warner football. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm calling it what it is. You're playing Pop Warner football in the SWAC. You can take it how you want to. Oh, Scotty, you're such a hater. The white man's ISIS coder. Like, no, bro. You suck. I'm sorry. Because this is supposed to be the number 1 defense. I'm like, Blue, I can't let them off the hook at this. This ain't the number 20th or number 30th defense. This is supposed to be the number 1 defense in all of FCS, and you get beat by more than 2 touchdowns, you're playing Pop Warner football. Your stats are they're inflated, but technically they're deflated because of your competition. So when I said you're looking real good going against kids that aren't, I'm just saying, I'm gonna leave it at that, Blue. You can be all professional with it, but that's my point.
the first thing is after some of the chats I've seen tonight, I better not hear a single excuse. Like regardless of if Southeastern wins by more than 2 touchdowns, I don't want to hear, oh, we weren't supposed to win that game. Oh, we weren't, like, how were we supposed to go compete in Hammond? Oh man, it was because the band didn't play loud. I don't want to hear a single excuse. Not one. Every single person in the chat has called Southeastern garbage, the Southland garbage, the quarterback slow, the quarterback trash. I don't want to hear an excuse. FAMU should win then, and I don't want to hear a single excuse from a single FAMU fan if they lose. Now, on the flip side, I mentioned on my show, I don't think it's a win or bust for FAMU, Scotty, and I guess I have the outsider's perspective anyway. But for me, if this is a 3-7 point game, and it's a back and forth game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cole Kelly makes an outstanding play at the end to win the game. You just lost to the Walter Payton Award winner, and you played a great game. Rashawn McKay throws 2 touchdowns. Bishop Bonnet has over 100 yards rushing. That's fine with me. I'm completely fine with that. That's a great look for the SWAC to at least be in that game and show that they can compete with an FCS playoff team that's consistently in the playoffs. I think that's fine. Now, if they win, though, I think it's great. Personally, I think it would be huge for the SWAC because it shows, hey, remember those conference ratings that came out in April? Yeah. Look, we probably should be above the Southland. That was our quote unquote third best team that just beat just whooped Southeastern in their home stadium. Now, the big test though is this, and I don't think a lot of people are looking ahead to this. The James Madison game in the second round, I think, has more of an impact on the perception of the SWAC than anything. Because I don't think a lot of people really think the Southland and the SWAC really, I really don't think that a lot of people think they have a lot of separation. I really don't think the Southland's that much better than the SWAC. Let's just put it like that.
That's fair.
For me though, if FAMU goes and they lose to James Madison on the road by 7, that's an A+ performance to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a top 5 team all season long on the road, and you show you can compete with the team that I would say 20% of experts think might win the national title. That's going to be where you make your money. Now, I agree with some of the comments that this one won't hold the weight as much, but if they can go compete with James Madison, man, that might be the real that might be like the impact factor that I think a lot of people might be looking for. So for me, I think this weekend FAMU has a great chance to win, and anyone who says that they're going to get blown out, I don't think has looked at the stats or looked at the film. For me, FAMU has a great chance to win. Now next week, they're going to be a complete underdog. Nobody in the country is going to give FAMU a chance next week unless you're Mr. Campbell in the Cadillac. That's the only person that's going to give FAMU any chance next week. Now, and man, imagine, man, how and everyone can say what they want. A win over Jansen will be bigger for the SWAC in I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. So I think next weekend will be the biggest test for in terms of SWAC perception, because if they compete with James Madison, you have to give the SWAC their respect.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that point, Blue. I like what you said. Like if you play, if it's it's how the game goes. Like if you never look like you were in the game, that's a bad look. You know what I'm saying? If we're watching this game from first, you'd be like, man, they're not on this team's level. I would be really disappointed. But I agree with you. If it gets away from them at the end, kind of like Jackson State with Alcorn, it was 17-10. Something dumb happens. They score another touchdown. It looks bad. If you didn't watch the game, the score looks worse than what the game actually looked like. So I can rock with you on that. I can say hey, a miss here, a drop pass here, things didn't go their way and they were still competitive. So I can rock with that, Blue. I can definitely rock with it. I'm gonna take these last 4 callers and we're gonna get up out of here. All right. So let me start with this one. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
Yo, Scotty.
What's good?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to both of y'all boys, man. I don't want to say that before I start off, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope y'all eat good. Hope y'all live to see another year, man. But man, I love you and Blue breakdowns, man, because like that quarterback, he run like Ben Roethlisberger and he passed like damn Peyton Manning. Like that boy got an arm. But I noticed, man, a lot of things, if we don't have containment and if we don't go man to man, there's gonna be some problems because he can eat zone up. We do not need to play no zone.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. No, I disagree. I completely disagree. This is not a quarterback you want to only play man against because he's going to know it's man, and then he's going to go to his man beaters. He's going to go to the mismatches. Like you want to switch it up. I'm not telling you only run zone, only run man. But if you are a man heavy team, like this is not the game for you because he literally. I mean, come on, bro. Like when you like, it's like this, right? It's like let me give you a good example. It's like if you go into somewhere and this is what you do, right? Like if you're a pool shark, right? And you're like, yo, I play a certain type of pool, and then you say, okay, I play that same style, and I'm just better at it than you, then I'm gonna beat you. You know what I'm saying? If it's like if it's a basketball game and you play man to man, and we're the Warriors and we love when you go man to man because we pass the ball, we move the ball around so much you can't keep up with us. We pick set screens. You have to keep keep them guessing. So I think with this game, you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna go man, and that no. First of all, you don't have the athletes across the board for all 5 positions to go man. Like you don't have 5 deep corners to be like, yo, we locking down everybody. So now you got to mix it up.
But can you do a man with a cover 2 on the top? Help with the linebacker?
That's still man. That's still man. I mean, like, because they're going to go 5 wide. They're going to go 5 wide, 4 wide every single time. So if you go 2 shell high, you got 2 up top. All right, that takes that way. You got you're going to have 4 down linemen. That's 6. Now you got 5 DBs. You're still man. That's still man.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can add a robber to it. You know what I'm saying? You could add one of those safeties, make him a robber. You can, and don't forget about the tight end too. So one of your linebackers gonna have to guard the tight end. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you match it up. I would, you got to send pressure sometimes. It's just little things like that, man. You just got to go in and out of something. Don't just beat it. Don't just say, hey, we're gonna go man and we're gonna go man all game. Like, if I'm being honest, Jackson State wouldn't even play this team like that. If I'm being 100% honest with you, they wouldn't even play this team like that. And they have the athletes to do it. They wouldn't even do that.
And I got one more question. This is for both of y'all. FAMU make it to the second round and miraculously pull like a rabbit out their ass and beat the second round team. Do you think FAMU can get more recruits than Deion?
Listen, do I think they're going to get recruits that they probably wouldn't get before? Yeah, but you're not going to out recruit Deion. It's Deion, man. Like, stop. It's Deion.
I know it's Deion. I know. I'm just trying to
listen. Let me tell you this.
Let
me tell you this. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let you go. This is just this simple.
All right.
You can name 2 teams, 3 teams. I'll say 2 teams in the SWAC that got blown out. Alabama A&M and Bethune. Every other game with Jackson State has been close. All right, let's be real. Alabama State, it was 7-7 at half. Southern was up 10. Alcorn was down 4. They're not blowing Bama's out. It's coaching. It's simply coaching and making the plays when they need to be made. And they have more playmakers, but they're just not. They're not Alabama versus Mercer. They're not doing anybody like that. You know what I'm saying? These games are competitive, just that these SWAC coaches are not that good. They're really not. And when you have a team that's that talented, you have to out-scheme them.
Right.
All right. Appreciate the call. Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to me.
Hey, man, how y'all doing?
What's up?
All right. Look, I just was calling in to give my little 2 cents.
Yeah, go ahead.
That boy Coach Kelly, man. He's like 5 times better than what he was at Arkansas. Had he stayed at Arkansas, he would have never developed the way he developed now. And as far as the game goes, I really don't think FAM has much of a shot of beating Southeastern. Southeastern, they loaded with transfers. They have a kid on their team by the name of Gay Lavadon. This kid may be a 3-star at defensive back or a 3-star at wide receiver, but under the center, he's a 5-star. When I tell you, if you put on his highlight tape as a quarterback, it's something to see. And I know he's running back kicks and all that. But FAM this year, FAM hasn't played a team that was that had a winning record over 500.
That's fair. That's fair.
But they asked for the playoffs. They wanted the playoffs. Now they in the playoffs. So don't be griping about the team you get. You should be satisfied getting in the playoffs.
Facts.
All right, it don't make no difference. If a boxer get a chance to box for the heavyweight champion, you don't care if they fighting on water or they fighting on land, just as they get the fight. But another point I want to make, as a football team, you have to be something like a visionary. I remember when the story broke that Deion might be the head coach at TCU. People don't realize Deion is a visionary. Deion wasn't looking at TCU. Deion got in this game to help more HBCU players get drafted. He can't do that from TCU, but he can do that from the NFL. Deion is not looking at another. Deion is going to be the first coach to go from the SWAC to the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons or the Dallas Cowboys.
Sir, we listen.
Bet on that.
We're on Southeastern. We're on Southeastern.
Huh?
We're talking about Southeastern and FAMU.
Right. Yeah. Let me go and elaborate on Southeastern just one more time here. Southeastern, they really took off after Robert Alford left there, got drafted in the second round. So then you had a lot of boys come in the year later from the transfer portal, and the coaches came from Delta State over there to Southeastern. But Southeastern is loaded with transfers, man. The only chance Florida A&M got to beat this team is to take Cole Kelly out the game. It's just, hey, you just got to keep pressure on him. And still, hey man, the guy is an exceptional quarterback. I had him as a sleeper in the draft. I definitely think he's probably a 3rd round pick. But hey, good luck to Florida A&M, but they got a tough choice ahead of them.
Appreciate the call. Listen. I know a lot of stuff about NFL, but there's not a team that wouldn't take a flyer on a 6'7", 260 quarterback with the stats that he has. Like literally, bro, he's been Roethlisberger like little brother. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not act like, come on, bro. Like 6'7", like I'm taking if 4th, 5th, 6th, I'm gonna take a flyer on you just to see what you look like. Come on, man. That's easy money. All right, last 2 callers. Hey, caller, you live, talk to us.
What's up, Scotty? This is your boy Larry, True Rattler from Sanford, Florida, man. I love it that you let me be the last couple of callers, because that way I can still end the whole call on a bright note and be positive, because Lord, it's been a long time. It has been a long time. So I write it down, so I stay on point, and I'm gonna make it quick. Number one, I want to say I've been listening to a lot of shows with the coaches coming on and saying positive things. I mean, every coach in the SWAC has said positive things about Florida A&M being in the playoffs, and congratulations, Jackson State and PV. And so I just want to thank the coaches and the fans, because most of the people who get on here have been very positive on all the shows and things I've been listening to. Number 2, I don't like Ford. I don't know who that brother is. I don't like Ford. I don't drive a car named Ford. Okay, Ford got to go. Okay, I ain't gonna say anything bad about him, because my mom said, instead of saying something negative, just say God bless your little soul. Okay, let's move on. Oh, I'm sorry, little heart, not soul. All right, number 3. I didn't hear your pick. I don't know if you're picking FAMU or picking SCLU, but remember, if you pick it wrong, I want half your face orange and half your face green on your Afterglow show, because I want to see your so glow on the orange and green face thing. And I think I think Campbell said he wanted you to send him the bill for the face paint. So go ahead and do that. And for you, Blue Blood, if you choose it wrong and FAMU wins, and I know you're going to choose FAMU because you're a brother. You're a brother from another mother. I want to see those jerseys you got behind you. I want to see one orange and one green, or both of them orange or both of them green. I want all that to change. That's got to change back there. Okay, point number 4, and I am gone. Brothers, I love y'all. We're praying for y'all over here. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you for doing it, man. For the time. And thank you for doing what you do. And I wish you guys to be successful and have millions of dollars and all the stuff you want to do, man, because you guys are providing a service that's desperately needed. I wish we had something like this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because we love FAMU. We love HBCU football. And just thank you for bringing it to us live on YouTube and all the other places you guys podcast.
Hey, wait.
What?
Wait. Okay. First of all, if whoever I pick, if they win, there has to be something like you can't just put something on me and not put something on yourself. That's not how bets work, my guy.
Well, I'm old school, man. So, like when I used to play spades, man, if you lost a game, they get to rub your head or you had to drink water. So, you come up with something and we'll work through it. We'll work through it.
We can, you might go ahead, Blue. What you got?
Oh, I need like a Cole Kelly jersey. You got to submit a picture of you rocking a Cole Kelly jersey if y'all lose this weekend. All
That hurts, bro. That real hurt. Okay.
Yo, right. And I got your number too. I just wrote your number down, so I'm gonna text you afterwards.
I know you got the number. Every time you see it come up, you put me up there.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Don't think Mr. Campbell's getting away either. He's putting Southeastern flags on his Cadillac if they lose too. Don't think he escaped either. He's driving all the way back to FAMU with those Southeastern flags.
I want to see Blue. Blue. I want to see a Bishop Bonnet bobblehead on your show the next time.
I got you.
Oh man, that's funny. Hey, appreciate the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love y'all. Take care. Peace.
Oh, Blue, that was a good one with the flags. That's a good one. That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. Hey, caller, you the last caller. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm this DJ from North Carolina.
Talk to me.
I got a question for you and Blue. I was thinking about what Blue was saying when he said some fans from Sam Houston once and North Dakota State once Jackson State in the playoffs and they think they'll do well. So my question to you is, for both of y'all, is what would your pitch be if you were in a room with the SWAC, and especially Grambling and Serpent, since their last game is the first week of the playoffs, what would your pitch be to them to get them to change their scheduling? Because when I think about it, I feel like they're doing themselves a disservice. Because hypothetically speaking, let's just say the PV beats Jackson State. Now you're talking about your best team not even going to the playoffs. And I would love to see what Jackson State would do in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one first. The reason I wouldn't ask the SWAC to move anything, because the SWAC has always had that day. It's actually the FCS playoffs which actually moved their date back and interfered with the Bayou Classic. So I would actually tell the FCS to actually push it up a week. Have them move theirs up and change theirs. But what I would tell to the SWAC is if they did that, if they pushed the playoffs up a week, I still wouldn't do an automatic bid to it. I would do something like what FAMU is doing and just giving the opportunity, so if my SWAC championship loser was good enough, if it was good enough to be in, if it was good enough to like a PV, if PV 9, I think they were 9-2 Blue or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think if a 9-2 PV team was able to still make the playoffs after the selection or after their loss to the SWAC championship, I would do that. I would do something like that, and not. I really wouldn't care about the automatic bid, because you gotta be understand, like, we still want the money from the Celebration Bowl. So I'm not knocking the Celebration Bowl because I get paid too much money. Yeah, so I would have the FCS push it up a week. So the Bayou, because you gotta think about it, the Bayou Classic probably makes more money than the FCS championship game for Grambling and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sure it does.
That's that. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't even make sense that I'm gonna push that game up where I make more money than the national championship of the FCS playoffs. So so that would be my thing, and then just take my teams, whoever you want to take, you take them. What you got, Blue?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so it actually coincides. So the reason the schedule got moved up is it coincides with when they expanded the playoffs. So they had to take that extra week because they added another round of games to the schedule. And then if you move it back, and I think there was a comment that already said it, if you move the schedule back, I think it's like the semifinal games would be on Christmas week. So you would have to rearrange like the entire schedule for FCS, and I would find it very hard that the FCS would do all that for two teams in the SWAC. That'd be like the United States changing a law for like Alaska and Hawaii. They'd be like, no, like I'm not doing that. I mean, everyone else is all on board, but I mean, it would have to be something like, and I don't know how feasible it is. And this is, we're spitballing ideas here, but let's say Southern and Grambling, year after year don't qualify for the SWAC championship. What's keeping the SWAC from playing the SWAC championship that weekend anyway? Right. If they're not qualifying for it, you can move it up anyway and still have, the team that loses the SWAC championship get in. Really and truly, it's not really the Bayou Classic, because Southern and Grambling could just say, if they wanted, we don't care. Like, we don't want to go to the playoffs. Y'all do y'all's thing. We're going to keep our game, and y'all can have the SWAC championship, like whatever. But at the same time, I think FAMU, based on the fans and the people I've talked to, FAMU wants that opportunity. If they can't win the SWAC, they want to play for something. Like Scotty said on the show, like other people have said, they don't want a 9-2 team with a loss to an FCS team and a 1-point loss to potential SWAC champion. They don't want them to go sit on the couch, because that's just a waste of talent. That's at the waste of everything. And so for me, the SWAC has to figure something out. But yeah, Southern and Grambling are never moving the game. I've talked to the Southern people. I don't really have that many Grambling connections, but the Southern people said, I mean, they would rather leave the SWAC than move that game. It's just not going to happen. And I just find it tough that personally, I don't think the FCS is going to move the entire playoffs and have to shift every single round of the playoffs for two teams who, I mean, I don't mean to like come off as like bad about this, but they're probably not going to make it 10 times, like 9 out of 10 years. To be completely honest with you, right now where those programs are. So I personally don't think that they'd be willing to move it. I don't think the FCS would. Now, how do you get around that? I'm not sure. That's up to the SWAC and the FCS. And that's why that goes back to my rant earlier. The FCS and the SWAC need to start working together rather than being adversarial, because now you're both screwing yourselves out of opportunities and money.
And the FCS playoffs both have good benefits, but I just found it weird. And I'm not saying FAMU don't deserve that spot. I just think that Jackson State, being the team that they are and running through the SWAC, I would love to see what they would do over FAMU.
I mean, but listen, man, like this is, hey, turn your background down for me or mute yourself. But this is my thing when people say that. Y'all Bamas didn't care when you were trash, okay? You didn't care nothing about the playoffs when you were a 4-win team. Now you get Dion, and now you all, I would love to see what we can do in the playoffs. I would love to see. Y'all didn't care nothing about it. You act like a little boy or a little kid who is playing with a toy, then FAMU finds another toy, which is the playoffs, and now they're like, oh, I want that toy too. Like, no, you didn't care. You never cared, and now you care because it's hot now, or your team is good now. Miss me with that, man. Miss me with that. Ah.
Hey, Scotty, look, I ain't got no correlation to the SWAC. Even if Deion Sanders wasn't there, if they did the same thing, if a coach came in and did the same thing, I would still go the same way. That's just me.
All right. Appreciate the call. Man, that is... Miss me with that, bro. Because when the season first started, I'm talking about the spring. since I've been on YouTube in the spring, nobody gave a damn about the playoffs. All people kept saying was Celebration Bowl, Scotty, Celebration Bowl, celebration. You know, and now everybody like, I would love to see what Jackson State could do in the playoffs.
Man, like we need to do like a Flambe Friday show of the comments that I got on my video that I did about about the playoffs.
Yeah.
And like some of the comments that the SWAC fans had, and now the same people who left comments on that video want to crucify me are the same ones being like, man, don't you think Jackson State should be ranked number 1 in the FCS? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to make people happy. I say stay in the Celebration Bowl. I get yelled at because I say Jackson State shouldn't be ranked number 1. Then I say you should go to the playoffs and prove you're number 1, and I get yelled at again for the other side. I don't know. I don't know how to win the argument, Scotty. That's why. Listen, that hill is like covered in like construction tape, and I don't even want to go near it anymore. Because listen, the word Celebration Bowl and FCS playoffs regarding the SWAC is banned from my channel unless you're FAMU. I don't even want to hear it on my live streams, my comments. Cannot say it because it is no one's going to change their mind, Scotty. I mean, this is our 10th show talking about the same topic, and the same like 10 people got the opinions. I just don't think it's productive at this point.
And not even a little bit, but listen, I'm for the smoke, so you bring it over here. I'm a G check it every time because you weren't talking about that when everything was popping off, when everything was new, and when y'all was losing for the last 10 years or 8 years or whatever, you ain't say nothing about the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You were just hoping to make the SWAC championship. Now you over here killing Bama's in the SWAC, and now you're like, what them playoffs look like, Scotty? They don't look like shit to you. They don't stay in your lane. You want to be a Celebration Bowl winner? Stay in your lane. It's okay. If I'm being honest, I think Jackson State would do really well in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think I really would like to see them against Southeast Louisiana. And I think Kennesaw State would give them the business. I think Kennesaw State would give Jackson State the business because that triple option, like Jackson State is not good against run teams, like run first teams. That they would not do very well, but I think Kennesaw State would give them the. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. All I'm saying is nobody cared, so I don't want you to care now. All right, that's my point. It's stupid stuff. All right, anything you want to say, Blue, before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. I mean, listen, I can't wait to see both of our predictions, man. This is I haven't been this excited. Like, I mean, probably since the Jackson State FAMU game. Man, I haven't been this excited for a game in a long time, man. I mean, this is going to be huge, and I mean, personally, man, I can't wait for the first round of the playoffs. There's some just stupid good first round matchups, man, that I can't wait for.
Man, listen, I feel you, bro. Like I'm gonna be racking my brain. I see, and the thing about it for me, Blue, I'm scared because I call my stuff the jinx picks. So it's like, it's like, how does this work? You know what I'm saying? But I might have to. Listen. You dropping yours Friday morning?
Yeah. I'm dropping I'm dropping an individual episode for the FAMU Southeastern Louisiana game. Then I'm doing a live stream Friday night where I'm going to preview and give my predictions for all the first round of the playoffs, and also give people a chance to give their opinion on the FAMU game, which I'm sure there's going to be some crazy predictions. I mean, it's a crazy. Listen, you know how bad it is when I'm less nervous to make a prediction for Ohio State, Michigan, or Auburn, Alabama than I am for like a SWAC game. Like I go into my preview like my shit. I'm just like, I don't know who to pick. If I pick the wrong team, I'm on a hit list. I'm in SWAC Sports Central getting crucified if I make a wrong pick. Like it's stressful, man. It's like you're like the most wanted person in the world if you get a pick wrong in the SWAC. There's like high pressure situations picking SWAC games on YouTube.
Hey man, listen, I'm a ride whatever I pick with, and listen, I pick them because I pick it. That's how I be feeling. I'm like, come see me. You ain't gonna say nothing to me. No, I am not going to the SWAC championship game. All right, I'm not going to the SWAC championship game. But listen, for everybody still rocking with us, it's 236 people in here. Make sure you go, my boy Blue. Make sure you go check his channel out. Go subscribe over there. And just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. All right, make sure you go watch my Cowboys beat up on them Raiders. The Raiders. All right, make sure you go watch my Cowboys. And also for my lovely lady in the back, who's an Ohio State fan, go Big Blue.
Oh, she's gonna make you get another hotel room.
Dog, she's like, I was like, she said, who you rooting for? Because I actually, I'm a low-key Michigan. I'm a real low-key Michigan fan. Like, I've always been a big Blue fan. And she's like, where you watching the game at? Because it's not near me. Because she's Ohio. This is the only game she watches from beginning to end, bro. Like, she does not miss Ohio State game. So it is what it is. It's a good. All right. So anything else you got, Blue, before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. I love these shows so much, man. Y'all know where to find my channel, man. And listen, you always be able to find me at least once a week on here, man. And definitely in the comments. Always tuning into Scotty's show. So, man, appreciate y'all tuning in, though, man. It's been a blast.
It is. It's been, hey, man, this is probably, I think this is probably the legendary one. We got some film breakdowns in here. We got some great callers and everything like that. But listen, guys, you already know what it is. My picks will be dropping on Friday. I do my off-script picks. And listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm not picking the Pop Warner Classic. If you're a fan of either team, I'm not even like, bro, it's the Pop Warner Classic. Nobody cares, okay? This is how I feel.
Stop the cap.
If you think I'm picking that game, you're actually kind of picking mine. All right,
man. They missed a good opportunity, man. It could have been me and you coaching Southern. You could have been the OC, me the DC, CFL, and who Cut could be the OC and DC for Grambling. That could have been
that would have broke the internet, bro. And first of all, we probably would have, because Grambling ain't got no coach, so we definitely could have been on the Grambling side, easy money. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm calling Mr. Campbell up. He's bringing the distraction squad or whatever they're called with Thick 36. We're putting them on the other sideline. It's going all out.
All right. Somebody asked, "What's your channel, Blue?" So I'm about to put it up right here. You can go find him at the Blue Bloods. All right. He has a very cool logo. It's like, like a football with, all the type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very cool. All right. He's very, very graphic oriented. So the Blue Bloods, that's where you can catch him at. All right. So until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holla. God bless.